hours. But when it was done, the Orioles would leave Fenway with a big victory, earning them a series win over the Red Sox and on to the nation's capital. This is the start of a 4-game series, 2 in Washington, 2 in Baltimore. And what a matchup to kick it off. Chris Tillman, Steven Strasburg will be on the mound. They'll go at it in Game 1 from Washington next. It's the Orioles on Bassett, and we welcome you to the nation's capital for this first of 4, 2 here, and then 2 back in Baltimore. It's the Orioles and Nationals as the O's go back into interleague play. 2 teams who are red hot coming into this game for the Orioles. They've got a 2-game lead now in the American League Eastern Division. They are 8 games over 500 for the first time this year. The Nationals only a half game out in the National League East. They are 10 games over 500 when playing here at home. Matt Williams, the skipper for the Nationals, said before the game today, Orioles bring some serious firepower into this 4-game series, especially on the road. Take a look at the Oriole numbers all season long. They have played so well away from Camden Yards. They have the best batting average in the majors. They are second in runs in the majors on the road. They are first in homers, OPS, and that .337 is first in WOBA, a 25-19 record on the road for the Orioles. It seemingly has been that way from Game 1, Mike Bordick. They love games on the road.
They really do, and really everybody's contributing, but the headliner, of course, is Nelson Cruz. 27 home runs this year, but 17 home runs on the road. He's hitting almost .340 on the road. There are other great contributors as well. Mark Hakes hitting .312 on the road. J.J. Hardy up over .300 on the road. Jonathan Scope has 6 home runs this year, all 6 of them on the road, and he's hitting at a .260 clip. So guys like to get out there. They don't feel the pressure. I think that's what it's all about. I think they have all that want at Camden Yards to show their home fans how much they could do and maybe just try a little bit too hard. When they get on the road, they relax and they let the bat heads fly. That's
where you see some of the veteran aspects of this Orioles team come to the fore in these road games. Will it continue here? Well, we're going to find out. Big crowd will be on hand on this beautiful summer night within view of our nation's capital. Baseball next. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by AT&T. mobilizing your world. Great sight, all the fans coming down the big walkway in the entrance to Nationals Park. Take a look at our train game time temperature. A summer day, 91 degrees with a little haze, but lots of sunshine still bouncing off the Capitol. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. Steven Strasburg got a great hand as he was making his way in from the bullpen, and he goes to the mound, leading his team out there. Take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers as we get started with two teams playing some good baseball.
Yeah, both teams coming in hot last 5 games. The Orioles have 4-1 record. Washington 4-1 as well. I mean, these teams are about as dead even as you can get. Batting average 303, 305. Runs per game just about the same, up over 5.5. Earned run average, though, Orioles at 3.23, and this Washington staff, boy, have they been electric. Starting rotation and the bullpen at 2.40 earned run average. And they're both holding opponents to just a 2.54 batting average. So it should be a great series. A lot of good talent here. Both teams healthy and playing good baseball.
And each battling for a division championship. Take a look at the Orioles lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Their fares online only at southwest.com. Markakis, Machado, and Jones, Cruz, Davis, and Hardy, Hundley, Scope, and Tillman. No DH, of course, in a National League ballpark. 10-game hit streak for the all-star center fielder, Adam Jones.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Steven Strasburg this evening. He uses that fastball at 58% of the time, breaking ball 17%, and that changeup at 25%. He is a power pitcher, still considered a power pitcher. Take a look at the numbers on the year. 7-6 record, 3.53 earned run average, 112 in the third innings pitched. But look at the strikeouts. 131 strikeouts, just 24 walks. So he is aggressive in the strike zone. Opponents hitting 264 overall. Lefties at 239, righties at 282. You see the home runs given up, just 11 from Strasburg. He can work that fastball up in the mid-90s, 93 to 96. Got the changeup, though. It's a hard one, real hard. And when it's good, a lot of splitter-like action. It really drops at the bottom of the zone. And a big 12-6 curveball. He's been inconsistent with it, though. If he can't command it, he might file it early. These Orioles hitters, they love the fastball.
He has a 1-0 record lifetime against the Orioles. 46% of the balls off the bats on Strasburg are ground balls. The American League average 39% coming into this game tonight. So the 25-year-old right-hander set to go as Nick Markakis will lead it off for the Orioles. Nick continues as Mr. Consistency at 292, 7 homers, 31 RBIs. Not going to the All-Star game, and a deserving player. I mean, there are many who are not going to be there, but Nick is one of those. Consistency-wise, he's among the best. Pitch will be taken outside for a ball, and we are underway. Leadoff spot, of course, as he has treated it with abandon since moving into that leadoff spot. In these first inning average over 380 in leading off a ball game for the Orioles. And he's taking, and the pitch will be outside 2-0.
Well, Nick Markakis has been a great leadoff hitter. Not only is he producing with the hits, but has a great eye. He'll draw his walks. He has a great career on-base percentage, so perfect at the top of this order.
Here's Strasburg's delivery to him, and that pitch will be there for a strike. So Markakis taking until he got a strike from the right-hander. Markakis has seen Strasburg a couple of times in the at-bats, 1 for 2. It continues with one of the best averages in the history of interleague play. He's 4th all-time, hitting .339 in interleague games. It's the best of active players, and that's going to be a line drive caught. Nice play. Hopper in left field. He caught that one right off his shoe tops and hung on to it. He had a little problem even after he got it into the glove, but a nice play to start the game. Boy,
what a nice read by Harper. Just coming off the disabled list. You see the glove kind of get snaggled up behind him, but that's a tough play for an outfielder, and he had a real good read. Good first step. Take a hit away from Markakis.
That's a part of this series that's going to be important. You see Buck Showalter coming out. He wanted his video man to take a look whether that was worth a challenge. They decided it was not, that the ball was cleanly caught, and so it will stand as an out. Manny Machado moved back up into the number 2 spot for this game. Manny comes in with a 4-game hit streak. Machado will take the pitch up and in for a ball. Manny has gone 7 for 16 in his career against the Nationals in the games played, and he's 4 for 8 here at Nationals Park. Strasburg with a 1-0 delivery on the way, ripped, and that's a fair ball down the line. It'll go all the way to the corner. Harper's got to chase it down. Machado's on his way to second base, and Manny's bat is coming alive. A double and a 5-game hit streak.
Well, Manny's been swinging the bat so well, really starting to settle in, defensively playing well. That's his 9th double on the season. You see this ball just staying on that inner third, and wow, does he get the bat head to it well, keeping it fair down that left field line.
So the Orioles are going to get the first chance here against Strasburg with a runner on at second base and 1 down. And the center fielder who legged it out in the All-Star balloting for the final count to be among the top 3 outfielders in the American League, Adam Jones, and certainly deserving.
Boy, I'll say, what a player he has been. Now a perennial All-Star, named to the All-Star team, starter. He's been hitting home runs. He's using the whole field. He's got a great combination of speed and power. And let's not forget about his gold gloves in center field.
He will take the pitch inside for a ball. You see the co-players of the week. How about this? Adam Jones, Steve Pearce, the American League co-players of the week.
Yeah, they were raking. Adam Jones at .423 average, a couple home runs, and Steve Pearce on fire as well. 3 home runs, 9 RBI.
Delivery on the way to him, and the Orioles clearly have a pattern now that's been a decision on how they're going to come up against Strasburg. There is Pearce. They're going to take pitches. They're going to make him throw strikes. You've seen the first 3 hitters in this ball game do that. Markakis did it. Machado waited on one, and now they're doing this with Strasburg. So clearly there's some indications in the scouting report he's not throwing first pitch strikes, and you might want to wait him out, try and get that pitch count up in the ball game. We'll see how that works. 1 and 2. Jim Presley, hitting instructor. Of course, that's the kind of stuff they go over before a game.
Well, you have to be prepared when you're going against a pitcher like Strasburg. And you know, I think one of Strasburg's keys is hitters don't want to get deep in the count because he has a really good changeup, and if he's got command of that breaking ball, it could be really effective as well. So they swing early and sometimes expand the zone.
Adam Jones with the big cut on that one, and talking to Cruz as he heads back. Strasburg gets the strikeout.
So that's a changeup, 89-mile-an-hour changeup there, and you saw the action that he can get on that pitch. When it's down, that ball just took off down and in on Jones.
The Orioles coming in tied for second, batting average with runners in scoring position at .268, and Cruz, hitting .287 in these situations, stands in with Manny Machado on at second base with that double. Now, however, there are 2 down. Cruz batting cleanup tonight and playing in left field. He too will take a pitch, and again it's up high, so Strasburg continues to start these hitters out, at least in the first inning, with ball 1. That's made a huge difference for him this season. Cruz will take it. It is in there for a strike. For Strasburg, if he gets the first strike, the batting average against him after 0-1 is $180. If it's 1-0, the average goes to .364. That may be another reason you might want to take a pitch and see if you can get ball 1. Cruz will take that one, and it's going to be up high.
Well, that's one of his best pitches, that high fastball. He has a great ability to change planes with that fastball. He can work it down. Of course, we've seen that good velocity, 95, 96 here in the early part of the game, but he has that ability to ride it to the top of the zone.
That ball will go to short. Desmond's got it, play over to first base. LaRoche is there, and that'll do it. So the Orioles quickly 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position in the game. Chris Tillman will make the start for the Orioles. Watching from Annapolis, located on the Chesapeake Bay, the Severn River in Anne Arundel County, Maryland's state capital, the temporary capital of the U.S. in 1783. All part of Birdland. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Nationals. Span, Rendon, Worth, LaRoche, Zimmerman, Harper, Desmond, Ramos, and Strasburg. Jason Worth has been on a tear over the last 5.
Let's take a look at Chris Tillman's pitch arsenal this season. He's using that fastball at 54%, breaking ball 34% of the time, and the changeup at 12%. Now, Chris Tillman has had an up and down year, 18 starts. See that 7-4 record, though. The earned run average at 4.21 has been coming down here recently, but 64 strikeouts and 44 base on balls. Command has been an issue for Tillman all year long. Opponents hitting 255, lefties at 280. Righty is down to 226.
And Tillman will be ready to go against Span with speed. Their center fielder, Denard Span, at the top of the order, gets Machado in at third base, and the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. The Orioles roster change today. Julio DePaula was called up from Double-A Bowie, a right-hander, 31 years old, and not allowed to run in 3 appearances with the Bay Sox after being signed on June 27th. Pitch will be taken up. Kevin Gausman again. He has gone back down. The 23-year-old kind of getting used to packing the suitcase and not unpacking it. He'll be back up here again. That's the change in order to give some lift to the bullpen for the ball game today. Tillman starting out with a 2-0 count on Span, the delivery, and that's going to be up high, and he falls behind 3-0.
Well, Chris Tillman has had early struggles. First 2 innings have been a problem all season long. An 8.21 earned run average in his 34 innings pitched, 31 earned runs in the first 2 innings. So he's kind of fighting the mechanics early on, trying to settle in, because when he gets past 3rd inning on, he is rock solid.
Not even close on those 4. 45th walk of the year.
Chris Tillman's got to use this Orioles defense, the best in baseball. Nelson Cruz, Jones, and Markakis in the outfield. Hardy and Scope up the middle. Machado and Davis on the corners with Hundley behind the plate. Of course, we talked about this defense. 103 double plays, leading all of Major League Baseball. So Chris Tillman's got to get these guys to put it in play and let that defense work for him.
Rendon's name was much discussed when the All-Star game and who was going to represent the Nationals came up. He has certainly had an outstanding season. The Nationals come in 10th in stolen bases in the National League. Span on at first base. Hitters, runners have not gone against Tillman this year. 1 attempt and 1 caught stealing. Which is pretty amazing for 104 innings pitched, and this is his 19th start. Span will try and gauge the move here with Davis holding the bag at first base, and Tillman, recognizing that, will hold him.
Well, I think the Nationals are going to push it a little bit. Span, of course, very good stolen base threat, has 13 on the year. Desmond has some stolen bases, and Rendon as well. So they might try to push the envelope, especially early on in this ball game. Put some pressure on the defense and Chris Tillman.
13 out of 15 for Denard Span at first base. Delivery on the way, and he's way up with everything here to start the ball game. What Mike was talking about, his numbers are the opposite of what you generally find for Tillman. The first time through the lineup, opponents are hitting 289. The second time, 290. And the third time, 174. I mean, generally, it's the other way around, and it exemplifies what Mike was talking about, the problems he's had in the first 2 innings of ball games. Rendon waiting, runner not going. That's going to go to right field, right at Markakis. He is there. Runner halfway will go back and 1 away.
Well, he really finished through with that fastball. Probably his best one so far in the game. Drove it down and away. And a very tough hitter in Rendon. First out there.
Well, we talked about the Orioles having the co-players of the week in the American League. Here comes the National League player of the week. Jason Worth. A 1,000 slugging percentage last week. Paced the National League with 9 RBIs, 20 total bases, were tied for the league lead, and he had a .450 batting average, going 9 for 20 over that span. Those are the numbers that got him the award.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff coming off the bat of Jason Worth. They've been waiting for this kind of production here, and he has been a superstar in the past with some great power numbers. This could be the year where everything clicks and really helps support this offense to go along with the fine pitching staff the Nationals have.
Tillman got that one in for a strike to him. Worth has a 1-for-3 lifetime off Tillman. On the homestand for Jason Worth, he's had a 9-for-20 clip with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs during this current homestand. Span still at first, not running. Another one down the line in right. That'll end up in the seats. The only sun field left right now is right field. Everybody else is in shadow at sunset time here in Washington. See out there in right, still a little bit of that sun shining through. 0-2 the count on Worth.
Well, Chris Tillman really trying to establish that fastball, working it down in the zone. Here, see Hundley kind of wanting for it to be elevated. Should be no problem for Tillman. Try to get a chase.
That ball is going to be foul back and into the seats, and an 0-2 count.
We saw in yesterday's ball game, Kevin Gausman went through the first couple innings throwing all fastballs. Of course, his fastball was getting up 98 miles an hour, but Tillman really trying to establish that here this first time through and get that command down, execute down in the zone. Certainly will help his changeup as the game progresses. And if he has command of his curveball, look for a real good outing from Tillman.
Span shortened up his lead actually as he came off that time and gets back to the bag. For the Orioles starter, third career start against the Nationals, has no record and a 6.52 ERA. Last faced them in May of 2013. Allowed a career high 4 home runs in that ball game. Span not going again, and that one he had to reach for it. Worth protecting his at bat on that one and puts that one back into the screen.
Real good fastball. The velocity kicked up to 92 right there. Getting it up. Now Tillman's velocity has been kind of a roller coaster ride as well. Early in the season he was working 93, 94 consistently. It's kind of tapered down a little bit, but here the last, I don't know, I guess 5 or 6 starts, his velocity's kind of worked its way back up 92, 93 miles an hour.
Worth waiting. Pitch to him and he's gone. Great pitch that actually bounced. And the strikeout for Tillman is the second out of the inning.
Well, his first breaking ball is a good one. Of course, with 2 strikes on Worth, he's got to protect. But look at that late finish on the breaking ball, showing itself out in front of the plate, and there it goes. Great curve, tight rotation from Tillman. Big strikeout. The National League Player of the Week.
So Tillman with 2 down. If Span's going to run, now's the time. Adam LaRoche coming up, their cleanup batter at first base. The Orioles will employ the shift, playing the infield way back. Hardy moved over behind the bag, and Manny Machado's on the grass in left field at the shortstop position. Span's got a big enough jump if he wants to run, if he's got the green light. That last pitch, he was way out there, almost a quarter of the way down, so he's had time to gauge Tillman and try and look for what indicates that Tillman's going to the plate. LaRoche, the big left-handed bat with power. Long set, and that ball will go to second base. Scooped up by Jonathan Scope, and that will do it. So a leadoff walk goes for naught. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on, 1 complete here in Washington, and no score. $500 for being selected. You get $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play the Orioles scratch off from the Maryland Lottery. Your chance to be a contestant of the game. Win a trip to see the O's play at Wrigley or to the MLB World Series. Learn more, mdlottery.com/Orioles. A lot of O's fans on hand for the ball game. Lots of orange around the ballpark here at Nationals Park. They've been having great crowds, great season for them. They've got 48 wins. The Orioles have 48 wins. 39 losses for the Nats, 40 for the O's. Pitch will be taken on the inside corner for a strike. Chris Davis.
Well, he's had his success against the Nats. .313 average, 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. So he's looking to get his bat rolling again here.
Fastball will come inside. He had the day off yesterday, was out early today, taking plays at first base. Had Bobby Dickerson hitting him some one-hoppers over there at first. So getting back in and trying to get the bat going. And the pitch, that's going to be an outside corner strike. Gary Cederstrom is the home plate umpire. Historically has been a little bit favorable towards the hitters rather than the pitchers. Dan Iasonia, C.B. Buckner, and Trip Gibson, umpiring crew. Put up in the air, left center field, ball carrying. Harper looked, now realizes he's got to make the play, and he does. And Davis is retired. On Wednesday, when the Orioles return home, continuing this battle of the Beltway against the Nationals, all fans are going to receive the special Nick Markakis Oriole t-shirt, a unique design with a silhouette of Nick and the words shared by his teammates on what the veteran outfielder means to them. Get your tickets now at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. That's coming up on Wednesday.
Great t-shirt there. Longest tenured Oriole. We talked about him deserving to be in an all-star game. Another good year for him, both offensively and defensively.
Yep. Speaking of which, here's J.J. Hardy. Same thing.
Yeah.
Another guy who could easily have been selected. Consistency is quality to me in all sports, in all ventures of life. You're consistently good at what you do and produce. Not necessarily after a time you may stabilize yourself at a point, but it'll be a quality point. Hardy and Markakis seemingly have done that. Good pitch by Strasburg. He gets his second K.
Well, danger when Strasburg's got his breaking ball working. Take a look at this. Wow, nice late bite on that. Much like Chris Tillman's. You see the late finish down in the zone. J.J. Hardy saw some firm fastballs, and here the finishing curve.
Orioles will beware of the strikeouts. Strasburg leads the National League over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's had 133 strikeouts now in 114 innings pitched. Hundley's got a 6-game hit streak. He'll be doing the catching here in this first game of the series. Nick takes it outside for a ball. He's had a 1-for-7 off Strasburg. He actually has faced this right-hander more than anyone else in the Orioles lineup, and that's only 7 at bats. Caleb Joseph did the work yesterday in that long 5-hour 12-inning game. Caleb was funny today. He said, I was all right till about the 10th, and then he said, my stomach started gurgling and I realized I hadn't eaten in 5 hours.
Right? That's the way we all felt.
Exactly, we did. Hundley will go to third base. Look what I found. Zimmerman with a lob toss over. Hello. Outstanding defensive play right there at third base. So we've seen 2 fine national plays in the first 2 innings of this game. Masson's word of the day, run to 29292 for your chance to win. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Yeah, text that one because that will be a great time. Of course, Adam Jones loves food, loves to eat, and he'd be great conversation as well. He's always up for a good time.
That's all true. And if you enjoy a bit of the wine with your meal, I guarantee you Adam will make an appropriate selection. He's become a very established wine connoisseur in his young age. Tillman ready to go here. Zimmerman, what a play at third base. Zimmerman's got the numbers against Tillman. I looked at it 4 times to make sure I was seeing it right. 3 for 3, and they're all home runs. And the only 3 at-bats he's had against you. Zimmerman, Harper, and Desmond due up. He'll go after the first pitch, put it in the air, and that'll end that streak. Markakis back into the sun a bit. 1 down here in the second inning. The Orioles host the AL East rival Yankees in a pivotal 3-game weekend series beginning Friday. Tickets are going fast. Don't miss out an exciting weekend at Birdland. And for each game, fans are encouraged to bring non-perishable food items and cash to benefit the Maryland Food Bank. It's part of the annual Orioles Reach Food and Funds Drive. Go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for tickets. Here is Harper. Obviously, club mighty happy to have him back in the lineup. The Rookie of the Year in 2012, 57 games out with the injured left thumb. Coming back with a 9 for 32. And he's had a couple of doubles, triple, 5 RBIs over the last 9 ball games. So Bryce Harper back at it again, and that's good for baseball. Tillman's delivery, and that'll be popped up. He jammed him. Manny Machado's in fair territory at third, and he's got it.
I see a couple quick outs for Chris Tillman, and working that elevated fastball there to get a couple dangerous hitters, Zimmerman and Harper.
Tillman trying to have that quick 1-2-3 here and get through these first 2 innings without allowing anything. 19th start of the year, the 11th he's had on the road. He is 6-1, 6-0 rather on the road, 6-0. His ERA is 5.5 on the road. But he has an incredible run support number in games away from Camden Yards. Desmond with the big cut. Desmond's had a 2 for 5 lifetime off Tillman. Desmond comes in second in strikeouts in the National League. 2 down, nobody on here.
Well, Desmond certainly could pile up the strikeouts, but he's dangerous. Big time power hitting shortstop with the 15 home runs already.
Down the line, and that'll be into the seats and a foul ball. This team's got some power. This is a really good ball club, and most people believe they will overtake Atlanta. They're only a half game out. Atlanta's been on a hot streak and regained first place in their division. Pitch up and in, but I think it's fair to say if you look at the team, and the games aren't played on paper, but if you look at the teams, Matt Williams ball club I think is a better ball club than Atlanta.
Well, they certainly have the pitching.
Yeah.
I think that is the key, and the key for most teams that make it to the postseason.
Ground ball to third base. Big hop. Manny Machado guns it over to Davis. He makes the stretch in a 1-2-3 inning. And Tillman has survived the first 2 without giving up a hit. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Luna. For a beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. Summer has settled in, and so has Julio DePaula. He has just arrived. This is just a moment ago as he heads out to the bullpen. Just coming up, his contract picked up from AA Bowie to add to the bullpen. 31 years old. Signed on June 27 from the independent York Revolution. He's pitched a 3.62 ERA, 13 minor league seasons with a number of different ball clubs. He appeared in 16 major league games in 2007. And he's in the bullpen for the Orioles tonight. He may be here for just the night. Jonathan Schoop leading it off, and the pitch by Strasburg will be taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Schoop. Tillman and then Markakis due up against the right-hander. And a swing and a miss on that ball, tailing away. Nasty pitch.
Yeah, starting to work that breaking ball here early in the ball game. Good bite on the end. Throws it hard. Probably the tightest rotation you're going to see on a breaking ball, unless Chris Tillman gets his working.
That'll be outside. Strasburg has been especially effective here at home, not just this year but in his career. He is 6-1 at home this year with a 2.35 ERA. Opponents hitting .247 in this ballpark, and that was even further away, and he gets his 3rd strikeout.
Well, he throws it so hard, and it's got that late finish, so it's kind of holding itself over the plate. Looks like it might hang on to that outer third, and watch the late finish at the end. It just disappears. It breaks about a foot off the plate. Nasty breaking ball once again from Strasburg.
So Chris Tillman gets his opportunity. There are the home and road numbers that he has put up this season. Tillman will back off, and the pitch will be in there for a strike. Numbers for Chris, looking for his first major league hit. And perhaps more importantly, looking for his first chance to get back to the bench so he can pitch again. Pitch will be taken outside for a ball. We were not told that the pitchers were told not to swing. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. They're told just to go up and take the pitches. Tillman doesn't. Down the line, and that will be a foul ball. He'll receive applause from the other pitchers and the bullpen on that. And
not a bad swing, actually.
Gonzalez and company watching. He hit it. He hit it.
Yeah, they're saying, does he get points for that?
And the delivery is just going to miss. Strasburg thought he had a strikeout there. Big take,
ball.
Good take.
Yeah, the breaking ball buckled Tillman a little bit.
0 for 1 this year. And he reaches, hits a ground ball to second base right off the end of the bat. And he will be retired for the 2nd out. Now the slow walk back. Time for all fans to tweet their photo using hashtag #MASSonFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Markakis will do the honors of standing outside the batter's box to let Tillman get back over to the bench.
It's kind of understood. I think especially in the National League, the pitchers know they have to give the opposing pitcher a chance, an opportunity to rest a little bit.
Yep. Pitch will be taken away for a ball. Strasburg continues to not throw first pitch strikes. Hasn't walked anybody though, and he has struck out 3 so far. 2 down, nobody on. 3rd inning. That one he throttled back on at 88 miles an hour, and that will miss, and the count goes to 2-0.
Well, typically you see changeups from 8 to 10 miles an hour difference off their fastball, but Strasburg throws his really hard. He relies on the late movement. Almost throws it a 2-seamer, maybe gets on the side of the ball and it drops at the end. When it's good, when he throws it down by the knees, it can be a very effective strikeout pitch.
Markakis 4th in the league in hits with 108 coming into the ball game. Nick is also 3rd in multi-hit games. He will foul that one off.
That was the good change there.
Had to wait, and still way out, reaching for it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Strasburg retires 76% of leadoff batters, so he generally doesn't get himself in trouble by allowing that first man to get on against him in an inning. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Markakis jammed, and that bounced off the bat. Foul ball.
He rushed that one up there. 97 after the changeup. 88 down in the zone. He goes up and in. Markakis trying to hold up. It squares up the bat. Fortunately, foul ball.
Batting average opponents against Strasburg this year a little higher than his career number of 227, 264 this year. Markakis will fight that one off. His ERA this season of 3.53, a bit higher than his career ERA of 3.08, and just enough difference to have that 7-6 mark. He has given up more than a hit an inning, which is a bit surprising. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. Markakis will go towards the middle. Desmond's got it. Ball was hit hard. And a 1-2-3 inning. So Machado got the double with one out in the first. Since then, the Orioles have been retired. League Notebook to some midway recognition for Nelson Cruz. Came out of a CBSSports.com saying he is every bit the bargain that folks figured. Indeed he is. For Jordan Zimmerman, he will go representing the Nationals, third in the National League in that FIP as far as the ERA is concerned. For a good team, that's where he'd be. 2.79 ERA overall, which happens to be 10th. And Victor Martinez is having a tremendous season. He's on a pace right now for 40 home runs and 46 strikeouts. There have only been 6 men ever with at least the homers at 40 and finishing with more home runs than strikeouts. He's got a chance to do that this year. They are Lou Gehrig, Mel Ott, Joe DiMaggio, Johnny Mize, Ted Kluszewski, and Barry Bonds. From SI.com, that note on Victor Martinez's opportunity in a day and age where you figure guys with a long ball are going to strike out. They don't. And there's Nelson Cruz, the all-star. Ball will be one hop to short. Hardy way back. Ramos is retired on one pitch to start the bottom of the third inning.
A nice play on the chopper deep in the hole from J.J. Hardy. A couple really good defenses. The Nats kind of struggled early on because there were some major injuries to this team, but they have settled in. They're working on 11 straight games without an error, and of course Baltimore Orioles have been considered the best defense the last couple years. So going to see some fine plays, and already have early on in this game.
Nationals have made only 3 errors in the last 28 games, allowing just 2 unearned runs. They've moved up, tied for 6th in the National League in defensive percentage effectiveness, and that's coming up the ladder. As Mike said, they were not good at the beginning. Here is Strasburg, pitcher against pitcher. Tillman will put the pitch up high, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Strasburg gets an opportunity here against Tillman to try and help the cause. Span, a leadoff walk first inning, is the only base runner the Nationals have had thus far. On a check swing, it's a strike. Home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom with the call. whether it was a swing or not. It was a strike, and a Strasburg 1 ball 2 strike count. Infield moves around, outfield very shallow. He'll take the pitch, and that's up and in, and he's already thrown more pitches to this batter than he'd like to. You really want to get through these pitchers in a hurry unless you've got Babe Ruth at the plate who can pitch and hit. Tillman with the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be outside. So he goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I think Tillman wanted to do the same thing that Strasburg did to him. Strasburg throws him a nasty breaking ball, buckled Tillman's knees, but now he's falling behind. Doesn't want to lose him.
And that's going to be down the line. He's got a base hit on the 3-2 delivery. So Strasburg delivers the first hit of the ball game for the Nationals, and it's a clean single the other way.
Well, you definitely have to be careful, though. Now, pitchers in the National League get their reps. So if they get pitches to handle, they know what to do with them. And here, a nice swing. Stays behind the baseball. Short to it. Not trying to do too much. Puts the ball in play and picks up a base hit for himself.
4 for 33 on the season now for Strasburg, who will hang tight over there. Tony Tarasco, first base coach, talking to him. Span drew the walk his first time up. This Nationals team among the National League rankings, they are 5th in runs, 8th in average. They are tied for 9th in homers. They've gotten their wins off the great pitching we've talked about. Span will put it in the air. Nick Markakis right in place. The Span's retired on 1 pitch, and there are 2 down. This ballpark, part of it because of the great pitching for the Nationals. Here are the rankings among major league parks. In combined runs per game, it is 23rd out of 30. Batting average is 15th. Home runs dead last in home runs hit in a ballpark in the majors. And the ERA is the 6th lowest. So it's a pitcher's yard by those numbers. And as we said, added to, Mike, because they've got such a great staff.
Well, they really do. A great starting 5, and their bullpen considered one of the best in the game as well.
Their starters are ranked 5th in ERA. Their bullpen is ranked 2nd in the National League. Strasburg remains on at first base, and the pitch will catch the outside corner. Anthony Rendon, their second baseman, having an outstanding season. Only 79 minor league games since selected in 2011. He was 6th overall selection wise that year. Tillman's delivery to him, that's going to be there for a strike as well.
Good changeup right there from Chris Tillman. Yeah, this Rendon, right now there's talks he should have been starting second baseman on the All-Star team, but he could still potentially be chosen. He's having himself a fine year. I was talking to FP Santangelo about him, and he said he has not seen a hitter with a quicker bat than Rendon. He gets the bat hit to the baseball as well as anybody. And I said, well, we have Nelson Cruz. Take a look at this guy when he gets a bat hit to the baseball. Yeah. So should be fun to watch both of them in this series.
2 really quick bats who right now are on it. 1 ball 2 strike count. Strasburg on at first base. No lead at all over there, and that ball will go down the line, and that will be a foul ball. Rendon is one of the final candidates for that last spot. Justin Morneau, the first baseman with the Rockies. Anthony Rizzo, first baseman with the Cubs. Casey McGee of the Marlins, and Justin Upton of the Braves, along with Rendon. The fans will vote. You can vote through Thursday for that final all-star position. 5 names to choose from for both the American and National League final spot. 1 ball 2 strike count, 2 down. Davis moves behind the runner at first, and the pitch will be taken outside. Close, not quite. Hundley thought he might have had one there.
Boy, a real good pitch. Didn't look like it was down. Let's take a look at the pitch track here. A nice breaking ball, and that's catching the whole plate. Rendon gets away with one there.
McShowalter up to have a word with Gary Cederstrom from afar. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that clearly outside. So 2 3-2 counts in a row from Tillman, who has walked one and struck out one. Strasburg got the base hit, the first hit off Tillman in the ballgame. Runner will be going. Tillman with the 3-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled off. The Orioles, in part, are liking this. They love seeing him having to go out there and stand and run and stand and run the opposing starting pitcher.
Definitely. Gonna wear him down a little bit. He's got some life in his fastball tonight. We've seen it 97, 98. Trying to tire those legs out.
He'll be going again. 8th pitch of the at bat coming. Tillman, that's set, and the delivery, and struck him out. Foul tipped, held on to by Hundley. That's 2 Ks for Tillman. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Designated hitter, left fielder, right fielder. Nelson Cruz continues his magnificent first half.
Well, I'll say he's driving the ball all over the park. Home runs, 27 home runs. Take a look what he says. It's always a blessing when you're an all-star. I'm happy where I am, and I know I made the right decision to be a part of this team. Well, I'll tell you what, it's making it a lot easier when you're comfortable in your surroundings. And Cruz fit in on this ball club since day one. The day he came to spring training, you know, he felt like he was part of the team. I think it's a tribute to the Orioles players as well, really embracing him, and he has capitalized on that feeling.
Our Antwerpen quote of the day: visit their new Route 32 Clarksville facility all month long. They'll beat any competing offer in your trade-in. Hurry in today. Barry Thorne, Mike Bordick with you. This is the first of 4 these two teams are going to play. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. Bud Norris and Doug Fister, scheduled starters. 6:30 O's Extra, 7:05 Masson 2 HD for the ball game, and then Washington will return the favorite, Camden Yards. Wei and Chen, Tanner Rourke in Game 3 of this series. Ubaldo Jimenez and Gio Gonzalez will pitch in Game 4. Strasburg ready to go. Manny Machado stands in. He's got a double. Each team with 1 hit in the game. Manny's double in the first inning. Single by Strasburg in the third. Otherwise, it's all about the pitching. Strasburg, career 36-25 coming into the ball game. Manny's taking, and the pitch will be in there for a strike. Each team has won 2 games coming into this one. 7 out of the last 10 for each ball club. 1-1 delivery. Fastball will be up high.
A nice job laying off that pitch. It looks so good. You're sitting on a fastball and you see one, you know, up chest high. It looks like you can get to it pretty easily, but Strasburg showing that he can throw 95, 96, 97 at times up there.
That breaking ball had Manny rubber leg for a moment and then realized it wasn't going anywhere and he had to get out of the way.
Yeah, you see a ball out of the hand heading towards your front shoulder head area, you're going to flinch right away. This breaking ball, he just
let go of it a little too soon.
So a 3-ball 1-strike count. Strasburg's delivery to him, and that'll be in the air, and another base hit. Manny Machado's 2 for 2, and he gets a leadoff single. Span will get it back in.
Well, Manny Machado is right. He leads with his hands and lets that bat head stay through the zone. This is a tough pitch. It's boring in on him. But look at the hands come first. Gets that bat head to the baseball. He didn't square it up, but that bat head stayed through the strike zone long enough to get a good enough piece of wood on it to pick up a base hit to lead this inning off.
Manny Machado now has got 6 hits and 13 at-bats here in July. And the Orioles get the leadoff man on. And here's Adam Jones, a strikeout victim. His first time up. Machado will take a step further in that lead. LaRoche holding him at first base. And Jones goes after the first pitch, drives it. It'll be played in right by Worth. He's got it. And Jones retired. That'll send Machado back to first base. Oriole fans can earn rewards for sharing and posting Orioles content on social media by joining the O's Bird's Nest. O'sBirdsNest.com. Enter today's bonus code HUNTER before midnight tonight and receive 2 bonus coupons. You'll be entered to win the monthly prize of the autographed player or the year-end prize of the 2 tickets to opening day next year. It's the O'sBirdsNest.com. One away. That will bring Cruz to the plate. He grounded out his first time up.
A lot of Orioles fans here. You could hear the Cruz buzz in the stadium.
Throw over to get Machado back. Cruz has had 10 hits and 26 at bats this month, including 2 home runs. Came in hitting .400 for the month. It just seems to get better and better with each passing game for Nelson Cruz. And the pitch to him will be taken outside for a ball.
He put on a show up at Fenway Park. And here's a look at his power zone. I mean, pretty much covering the whole plate, and that's a big red circle. So you make a mistake any part of the plate, he's going to punish the baseball, and he has been lately.
On pace for 50 home runs right now. That's a dangerous term, but fun to play with. 1-0 count, and a look over to get him back. His career high in home runs is 33, set in 2009. He's got 27 through the first 88 games this season. Be something, boy, if he had anything close to a 50 home run year. Machado not going. Ball put up in the air, hit deep. That's in the gap, right center, way back, and he's got another one. Goodbye home run. Stay on that pace, baby. Nelson Cruz delivers a 2 RBI homer here in the 4th inning, and the Orioles take a 2-0 lead. And loving that is Alka Patel, our Maryland lottery contestant. $500 more for you.
Well, that's how you backspin a baseball. It is powdered to right center for his 28th home run. That's a beautiful swing. Another beautiful swing for Nelson Cruz.
Strasburg has given up 12 home runs. 8 of those hit by right-handers. And Cruz just keeps it coming. And a swing and a miss by Davis.
Take a look at the pitch here on the outer third, and look at the bat head, so direct to the ball. He gets that bottom third of the baseball, and there is just some serious torque going on there. It got out in a hurry. He made this big park look small quickly.
This is his first game against the Nationals. First time in this ballpark, first time against this team. So he starts it out in his second at bat with a home run. Davis, he'll take that one, and the Orioles jump out to the 2-0 lead. Now this series, last season the Orioles won the series 3-1. They were 2-0 at Camden Yards, 1-1 here in DC. And Davis with a big cut, couldn't catch up to it, and a 2-ball 2-strike count on Chris, who flied to left his first time up.
Well, Nelson Cruz hits a baseball, squares it up. It's coming off hot, 103 miles per hour. The baseball off the bat of Cruz.
Davis inside, so Cruz moves back into first place with the home run lead, 1 ahead of Abreu. Encarnacion, of course, is injured. He's got 26. And with the RBIs, he now leads the American League with 73 runs batted in. Encarnacion's got 70. Davis on the fastball is through it for a strikeout.
Well, 96 miles an hour riding to the top of the zone there. Really tough to catch up to if you got a little bit of a dip. Bat head dropped just enough to get the fastball over the head.
The infield, which had been shifted, moves back the other way. J.J. Hardy, a strikeout victim his first time up, stands in for the Orioles. Hardy has moved into the top 10 in average against right-handers coming into this week's play. He's hitting .308 off righties starting the ball game. That is tied for 8th with Altuve in the American League. 1-0 delivery. Strasburg gets it in there for a strike.
Starting to mix up that breaking ball. You show this Orioles offense too many fastballs, and they're going to start back-legging some pitches.
Always thought Mike Smith, the great Philadelphia Philly Hall of Fame third baseman, had the great comment on fastballs. He said, "I don't care, I'll throw you hard. You can throw me a locomotive train from the mound. If I see it enough times, I'll hit it out of the ballpark." That's pretty much the way major leaguers feel. You can throw as hard as you want, even 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but if I can see it a few times, get my timing, I'll hit it.
That's really what it's all about. That's why the good pitchers are able to break that timing with the off-speed pitches. And if you can command a breaking ball and a changeup and maybe another pitch, really disrupt the hitter's timing.
1-2 delivery, close, not quite. Left side of the infield, was headed to the dugout. Zimmerman and Desmond thought that was a strike, and they took 2 steps forward and then 2 steps backward. 2-ball, 2 strikeout. 2 down, nobody on. Hardy will foul it off.
Well, so many great hitters in the history of the game. Talk about hitting off the fastball. Frank Robinson, the great Oriole, comes to mind. I remember being in a room when he was talking to the Orioles about hitting, and he just said, never give up on a fastball. You step in there and you think about hitting a fastball all the time. Until you get to 2 strikes, you might have to make an adjustment, but you will probably get a good fastball to hit.
And Hardy will go down swinging. 5 strikeouts for Strasburg, but the Orioles get the lead. A leadoff single by Manny Machado, and then the 28th home run of the year for the league leader in that department and in RBIs, Nelson Cruz. The Orioles 2, the Nationals nothing. An outside-in look from Jerry Krasnick, ESPN.com. Talking about the Orioles, he said, for starters, their clubhouse is the closest thing in MLB to a Chuck E. Cheese's franchise. I like that. When players aren't killing the time before games playing ping pong or pool, they gravitate to a mini putting green. That team-wide competitive streak is manifested on the field. What others are saying about the Orioles.
Yeah, well, it's good stuff, and it's true. I think Buck Showalter's kind of created this. When he came aboard He started putting those type of games in the clubhouse. Ping pong table came first, I think, and there were some other things that came along, but it brings the team together a little bit more. There's so many times, especially in this day and age with the cell phones and the iPads, my gosh, guys get so distracted that way on the social media. Why not keep them together with a pool table or a ping pong table?
Tillman now with the lead to work with, and the pitch will be fouled back by Jason Worth. The other thing, one of the other things that Bug did when he came, he shortened the clubhouse. It used to be bigger. He made it smaller so the lockers would be closer together and the players would be forced to have to talk to one another more.
There you go.
Put a kitchen in at the other end where the lockers used to be. And all part of his philosophy on building up team recognition, team unity. He believes in that. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jason Worth. And Worth on a cut on a pitch away. A strikeout victim his first time up.
A real good changeup. Tillman's thrown some good changeups in this ball game, and that one of his better ones. Get Jason Worth out in front for the second strike. See the location there on the outside corner.
And tried to get him to go after that, would not. Tillman said just 1 walk, 2 strikeouts so far. Chris coming in 5th in the league in walks, now with 45, but only 1. Delivery to Worth, and that will be taken down low. He has, however, worked 3 3-2 counts in the ball game so far.
Well, he's been pretty efficient here. There have been games where it just hasn't been there. He's been fighting through his mechanics, trying to find that rhythm on the mound. Seems like he's on it here.
Got him. So Tillman gets his 3rd strikeout on the 3-2 delivery.
Might have got away with one there. You saw a little frustration after Jason Worth goes down swinging. This is a changeup up in the zone. Probably the most dangerous pitch you can throw a hitter. Worth's eyes get big, and maybe just a little too big as he goes under the baseball for strike 3.
1 away. Tillman getting 71% of leadoff batters. Dave Wallace going to be happy with what he's seen so far, the Oriole pitching coach. Here's LaRoche, grounded out his first time up, and he will take that pitch for a ball. He's had 3 hits in his last 22 at bats, one of them a home run, a consistent power hitter throughout his career. LaRoche will go after that one, drives it to left field. Cruz, 2 down. Our PNC minor league report brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achievers.
Well, Steve Clevenger still tearing it up in AAA Norfolk this month. 5 games, 8 for 18 and a 444 clip, a home run, a couple RBIs. And this season, 333 with a couple home runs, 21 RBIs there. That's when he was with the Orioles, 243 batting average in 24 games played. So he's still swinging it well, and there's another opportunity. He's certainly ready to show his skills again here at the major league level.
With 2 down and nobody on, here is Ryan Zimmerman with that 271 batting average. Put one out to Nick Markakis in right field his first time up. 286 career hitter, a little bit below that for the moment. Made an outstanding defensive play on Nick Hundley in the 2nd inning to end it at third base. "29-year-old who are working here with the Nationals since 2005. Has been with this ball club and has been one of their leaders, now a veteran leader on this team. First round selection by the Nationals back in 05.
He primarily gets pitched away. Only 3 home runs this season. But he's willing to take his base hits on the outside corner. But if you make a mistake on the inner third, boy, he's certainly strong enough to take you out of the ballpark. So you got to be careful to the veteran Zimmerman.
2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. Tillman looking for another 1-2-3 inning. That'll go towards first. Tillman will cover. Davis the flip, and indeed he's got it. So that's the second 1-2-3 he has had. He's given up only 1 hit through 4. The Orioles have a 2-0 lead. achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. You're lucky people down there by the water. Probably a lot of you continuing the 4th of July vacation celebration. We hope so. Here in our nation's capital, the Orioles on top in game 1 of 4. These teams will play 2 here and then on to Camden Yards for Wednesday and Thursday. Strasburg, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Has struck out the last 2 batters he faced, Davis and Hardy. Hundley denied a base hit by Zimmerman in his first at bat. Jonathan Schoop and then Tillman due up. Strasburg's delivery will be in there for a strike. Orioles so far are 4-3 in interleague play this year. We'll show you some numbers on interleague games and just how close the figures are. American National League teams. 0-1 delivery, breaking ball outside.
Nice take right there by Hundley, even though that pitch broke off the plate about a foot. Still tough. I mean, it throws it so hard and it hangs up there so long. And you got to gear up. Strasburg's throwing pretty hard right now, up over the mid-90s. So a lot of times hitters cheat for that fastball, but a nice take there for Hundley.
That one is going to catch the inside corner. That is an off-speed pitch at 79 from him anyway. Some wish they had a fastball that was 79 miles an hour. Not to be. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Hundley will foul it back. Strasburg's numbers go up when runners get on base, working out of the stretch. The numbers go from 236 when they're empty to 311 with runners on base. So more prone to give up hits out of the stretch than he is out of this windup. From the first base side of the slab, the delivery, and no chance. That's about an unhittable pitch right there.
Well, that's the changeup. I mean, it is really good. It's unbelievable how much it moves. It just takes off 87 miles an hour. That ball just darts down and in. And this is a big reason why he has the success, that changeup. Of course, the highest strikeout percentage in 9 innings pitched. Steven Strasburg leading the way with that 10.50 average. We talked about how many strikeouts he has on the year. 131 and counting now into this game.
On top of the pile in strikeouts, over 10 for 9 innings pitched. Jonathan Schoop, a strikeout victim. His first time up, 3 Ks in a row now for the 25-year-old right-hander against the Orioles. Schoop, the 0-1 delivery to him. And again, took something off that pitch and catches the outside corner with it on 2.
Be really tough. I mean, this has been quite a pitcher's duel here to the mid part of the ball game. 2-run homer by Nelson Cruz.
Another one. 7.
Another changeup. Pretty much that same effect. Look how it just dive bombs down and in. 87 miles an hour. It just takes off. Jonathan Schoop thinks he's on it. He ended up missing it by 2 or 3 inches.
You could throw the pitch there every time. You'd have a no-hitter every game. Guys would have to bring a paddle up just to try and make contact. Chris Tillman grounded out his first time up. 2 down, nobody on in the 5th. This is the National League game. If you're the pitcher, you want to take care of this guy. You do never want to turn the order over by having the pitcher get on base when you can get him for the 3rd out. 1-1 delivery on the way and just comes in with heat. 1-2.
Tillman saw a breaking ball in his first at bat. Strasburg not wasting much time right here. Challenging with the fastball. There's a good one there.
Just a little bit down low with that. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Trying to strike the side out here in the 5th inning. 2-2 delivery. Another one. Fair ball. Nice backhand. LaRoche. He'll make the flip. Strasburg will cover and get the out, and the Orioles are retired in order. But the Cruz home run in the 4th inning still up on the board for a 2-0 lead. Astros will wrap up the short 2-game set here at Nats Park. Bud Norris takes the mound against Doug Fister. Our coverage on MASN 2, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Dodge, followed by our game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Bud Norris making his first start, coming off the disabled list, and he was on a roll, pitching very well for the Orioles. 7 wins on the season, that .362 earned run average. He's going to take on Doug Fister, and he's having a fine year himself. 7 wins, that earned run average of 2.93. Should be a great matchup tomorrow.
Sunset time and the moon making an early appearance here in D.C. It's a gorgeous night, great night for baseball after a mid-90s temperature day with clear skies and 91 when we started the ball game. A little breeze blowing out towards left field tonight, but not much. Go right into the best restaurant on the moon. If you look bottom right, that big open space, that's what they serve there. It's called a Moon Sundae. It's available only in that bottom right corner of the moon, but it's really, really good.
Oh, that looked good. How do you get there, Gary?
Well, if you get your wife really mad at you, she'll
to the moon.
She'll to the moon. She'll give you a foot right where it hurts, and that's where you'll end up. It's almost worth the trip, though. Here's Harper. Goes after the first pitch down the line, and that will be a foul ball. Harper, Desmond, Ramos due up, bottom half of the 5th inning. The only hit given up by Tillman, a single by the opposing pitcher. Clean hit came in the 3rd inning. He has walked 1 and struck out 3, and way up high with that one. Keep in mind, Chris Tillman is doing this against the Nationals team that has the 2nd best run differential in the National League and the 5th best in all of Major League Baseball, starting the night at a +59. 1-1 delivery in the air to center, not deep. Jones has got it lined up. Harper retired. Back your birds during the second half of the season and enjoy Major League savings by reserving your Birdland Summer 6-pack. Ticket to any 6 games, your choice throughout the remainder of the season. Save up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets. Lock in your seats for the best games, best promotions. Do it now at Orioles.com/6pack. Desmond grounded out his first time up. Tillman's delivery to him. It's there for a strike. By the way, the Orioles have improved their run differential. If you count the 2 tonight, they're up to +25 now. For a long time, first half of the season, they were going over under, just about even in run differential, but that's really picked up of late. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Desmond.
Yeah, offense has really been exploding here recently. Right now in this ball game, Chris Tillman throwing a good ball game. There's a big reason why, of course, Nelson Cruz, but Tillman trying to find the feel for that big breaking ball he possesses. If he can lock into that, it could be a even tougher night than it already is for the Nats hitters. Now pretty good command, right in the fastball up, getting some soft pop-up outs. Changeup's been pretty effective for Tillman as well, and he's mixed in an occasional slider for the breaking pitch for a strike.
That fastball is going to be outside. 86. 57 pitches thrown. Pretty effective here in getting the outs in this ball game so far. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Orioles 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. The Nationals no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Desmond waiting on it, and a chopper down to 3rd that's going to go foul. The Orioles coming in with their lead of 2 games over Toronto. Toronto's lost 4 in a row. Encarnacion is going to be out for probably a couple of weeks with that problem he's got with the leg. So the Orioles with a chance to gain some ground again. Toronto remains on the West Coast. They've got the Angels, and Nolan Reimold is in the lineup. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and that's foul back.
Nolan put on waivers in Toronto. Perfect timing for Reimold and the Blue Jays with Encarnacion going down. Reimold was tearing it up in Double-A Bowie, but just no room here The Orioles with Delman Young and Steve Pearce knocking the cover off the ball. They were hoping that he could possibly clear waivers, but Blue Jays in need.
And the co-player of the week not starting the ball game tonight. I mean, that's how good the Orioles have it as far as room to make maneuvers. As Pearce, who's continued to be red hot, not starting this game, getting Chris Davis back into the lineup. 2-2 delivery on the way and a ground ball. Manny Machado. Nice short hop and a cannon arm throw. Desmond retired.
A great read right there by Manny Machado. The chopper, and you better be aggressive, and Manny Machado is. Look at how aggressively he comes and gets that short hop, gets the glove out in front, keeps the head down. Beautiful play. Great extension from Machado. Why he's so effective, the long arms, uses his legs well. And of course, when he makes that transfer, it's a rocket across the infield.
So 2 down here in the 5th inning. Ramos grounded out his first time up. He'll go after the first pitch, and he's got a base hit. Jones will pick it back up, and Ramos is on with a single and an 11-game hit streak for the Nationals catcher. So Ramos on at first base with their second hit off Tillman in the ball game. Comes with 2 down.
Well, Tillman's been able to get away with some elevated fastballs here, getting some pop-up outs. They're almost able to stay on top of that fastball up at the top of the zone for a base hit.
So that will get Strasburg to the plate here. With 2 down. Wayne Kirby, who directs the traffic out there, moving folks around in the outfield. Pitch will be taken for a strike on the outside corner. The Orioles in the outfield play around towards right and shallow on Steven Strasburg. Ramos not going to go anywhere at first base. Barely has a lead over there with Davis holding the bag. Foul back. Strasburg put one down the right field line in the 3rd inning to get the first hit off Tillman. Picking up his 4th base hit of the season. He's 4 for 33. He scored a couple of runs, had 1 RBI, and extra base hit, a double.
I know pitchers in the National League typically don't have the great batting averages, but the fact that they get the repetitions, in my mind, makes them dangerous. So you still have to execute pitches, because there is that possibility that one of them really wants to help himself. I mean, they're in there competing. Of course, they're out on the mound pitching to try to win. When they get a chance to help their team, they're going to try to keep their focus as high as possible. Try to put the ball in play at least.
Good stop by Hundley on that last one. 1-2 delivery and a check swing, and that will do it. He's out of there. Strasburg is the 4th strikeout victim for Tillman. Orioles up 2-0, and our O's do up. Brought to you by Mazda, Marquez, Machado, and Jones. repeating page from Richard Justice of MLB.com. The A's, talking about Oakland, have 7 All-Stars. They're also a tribute to the genius of the GM Billy Beane, who should one day have a plaque in Cooperstown. He changed the game forever in his ability to assess talent, construct rosters, and find magic where almost no one else believed it possible. There'll be those who will argue about that, but you can't argue a great deal with the success Billy Beane's had in Oakland.
Boy, he really has, and he's somehow managed through the art of, using the statistics and getting the right people in place. And now, really, actually, that's what he's done, changed the game as far as the way they look at numbers. And he's taken chances on players, and he's really done a nice job for him. A lot of success out there, and we've seen how aggressive he's been here recently with the big trade, getting some Marge over there. So hoping to make it to the promised land again and possibly the World Series.
Nick Markakis will lead it off for the Orioles. Nick 0 for 2. He's flied out, grounded out. We bat in the 6th inning here at Nationals Park with the Orioles on top. A Cruz home run. 4th inning is 28. Bringing ahead of him Manny Machado, who had led the inning off with a single. And Markakis will take the delivery down and in. For Nick, his career numbers against Washington, a .316 batting average coming into this ball game with 4 home runs. He's had 2 of those 4 home runs against the Nationals in this ballpark. That will be foul back. Strasburg on the pitch, gets it to 1-1.
Nick, obviously the great success in interleague play and against the Nationals, but a consistent offensive performer against any team he faces, and we see it night in and night out. His ability to prolong at bats, use the whole field. That's a very dangerous hitter all around.
1-1 delivery. Nick has 34 multi-hit games, which ranks second, tied for second in the American League in multi-hit ball games. I asked Nick tonight around the batting cage, I said, look, you got all these great numbers in interleague play. How come? And he thought for a moment, and he said, I have no idea. An honest answer. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. He said, I do love hitting in this ballpark, though. He loves this ballpark. He thinks the batting eye is real good and that there's a lot of room to drive extra base hits in the outfield, and there is. This is a big outfield.
Oh, yeah, it sure is.
And the ball will carry here sometimes, although for left-handed batters can be a little tough. Jason Worth defines right center field here as Death Valley. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, Nelson Cruz doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Pitch will be taken. And he works the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Worth, who plays out there, figures a lot of balls are going to get caught. Never give up on a fly ball to right. He thinks those things will come down, even though they're hit hard at times. Fouled off again. He said, well, Nick, you don't face these pitchers all the time, so maybe you get an advantage because you see the pitcher so seldom. He said, doesn't that cut the other way?
Right.
I was like, all right, I give up.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is about Nick. He doesn't change his approach. It's so sound. He's quiet in the box. He's able to make the adjustments when needed.
That one to center off the end of the bat. Span is there to put it away, and 1 down. When the Orioles win, everyone wins, and all season long when the O's win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. You still have time. The Orioles scored 7 in that extra inning ball game yesterday. Be a good time for a pizza. Here's Manny Machado. Manny's had the hits tonight, a double and a single and a run scored. Now has a 5-game hit streak. Strasburg's pitch to him will be outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. David Lowe, who is a big contributor, coming on late as a defensive replacement when the Orioles were ahead by 5. He ended up with a couple of at-bats, including the triple in the 12th inning, and would score what would prove to be the game-winning run. The RBI base hit by Hardy. So Lowe, a lot more than bargained for when he came into the game.
I'll say was leading off that inning with the triple and then the great defensive play. A couple real big heroes. Of course, everybody contributed in yesterday's win, but Brad Brocca, another great performance out of the bullpen. And David Lowe as well.
And Machado will jackknife away from that one. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Manny with 1 down and nobody on. Tillman and Strasburg in a real good pitching duel here. Tillman after his 8th win. Strasburg also after his 8th. And Manny waits on it, and he's 3 for 3. So Machado comes through again. This time it's a 1-out single here in the 6th inning.
Oh, we haven't seen many good swings off Strasburg breaking ball, but Machado stays in on this one. Now it's up in the zone, but there's no flinch at all. He gets behind this baseball and hammers it through the 5-6 hole. Pick up his 3rd hit of the ball game. There you see him getting on top of the breaking ball. It's starting to bite its way down, but Machado able to recognize it. Nice extension. 3 hits on the day.
Manny Machado's 3rd 3-hit ball game of the season. Now Adam Jones. Runner at first base and 1 out. Adam will take the pitch outside for a ball. He has struck out and flied out. Adam coming in, starting the day 6th in average in the league, 2nd in hits to Altuve. He still leads in average against left-handers in the American League. And what many may not recognize is that most of his offensive numbers right now are headed towards career highs again.
Can you believe it?
No.
Every year he does something better offensively. And when you think, oh, here he's reached his peak, I mean, he continues to improve.
Jack Swinging is in there for a strike in any event. You would think with the really good numbers that he has put up, you'd start seeing a little plateauing going on, but that is not the case right now for Adam Jones. He's just continuing to add to on base percentage, hits, average, OPS. 1 ball, 1 strike, and fouls that one back, and he's angry. He wanted that one.
Yeah, got a fastball belt high, up and out over, and we've seen him hammer that pitch. He misses him. I'll let you know. He wants it again.
Real big numbers versus the Nationals, and in this ballpark, a .414 average. 5 of his 7 home runs against the Nationals have come here. Jim Presley loving what Jones is doing. And a swing and a miss. Strasburg kept it down and will get the strikeout. That's going to be his 8th.
This is his strikeout pitch tonight. That changeup, the bottom drop out of it. 87 miles an hour, hovering out in front, and then trap door. Down it goes to get Adam Jones.
Strasburg has had 11 strikeouts in 2 separate ball games this season. Here comes Cruz.
Well, Nelson Cruz got a fastball on the outside corner, and he hammered it to right center field. Jason Worth, the right fielder, talking about it being Death Valley out there, and he admired that shot from Cruz.
So the Orioles, Machado still on at first base, 2 down, and Cruz will take the pitch up high for a ball.
You see how our Y hitters stay so consistent. Their approach in the box, and Nelson Cruz has been a great example all year. Just so quiet. There's a lot of movement going on with his body. Very rarely does he get out on his front foot, so very balanced. He's able to see the ball, track it a long time because his head is staying still. And he has total coverage of the plate. And we saw a great example of that up in Fenway Park, where he was being worked away. He would drive the ball to right field. When they tried to come in, he'd hammer it off the green monster.
He got jammed on that one, and the play will be made to second base as Desmond gets it there to force out Machado. Runner left on, remains 2-0 O's.
nasty breaking ball. Rendon down. Worth again on the high change. And Strasburg, National starting pitcher, goes down. He serves up a fastball away to Nelson Cruz. 103 miles an hour off the bat. Right center field. Oh yeah, I'm headed to the All-Star game. His 28th home run of the season. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And here's a look at the pitchers. Both pitchers doing a fine job. But Chris Tillman out-dueling Strasburg to this point. 5 innings of work, just 2 hits. No runs on the board. Strasburg 6 innings, 4 hits. Of course, that 2-run shot by Nelson Cruz, the only 2 runs for the O's.
So this great pitching duel to open up this 4-game set with 2 here and 2 at Camden Yards. Denard Span, top of the order, leads it off. Machado moves in. Ball game fire from over here with a long way to go. 6th inning. And Span shows bunt and will take the pitch for ball. He has drawn a walk and he has flied out. He's 4 for 11. Lifetime against Tillman. He's had a couple of home runs in his career against the Orioles. Manny Machado, believing he might bunt, has moved in 2 more steps. That'll be fouled back into the seats.
Spawn has that great speed, so you certainly want to take it away from him. Manny Machado respecting it. Very rarely do you see him that far in on the infield grass, but taking it away, forcing him to swing the bat.
1 ball, 1 strike count on Span. Outfield shortens up a couple of steps in left and center against him. Dangerous though, he's a gap hitter. And the pitch will be taken away. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Span. So Washington trying to get it started against Tillman. They had the Span, the leadoff man, on in that 1st inning. The only time they've done that in the ball game. Tillman, the 2-1. Fouled off again.
Good fastball. It's good to see Chris Tillman's velocity kind of coming back. 92, 93 in this ball game. Kind of warmed himself up early on, 88, 89, but here more consistent with the velocity.
I have to ask him after the ball game, because we talked about it after his last start, whether or not he's changed up his pregame ritual. He was trying to figure out how to throw more in the bullpen, so it would be like the 1st inning, really bear down and come out as though he was already in the game. Same place, free baseballs for the 3rd base side. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Chris really works at his profession. He thinks about what he's doing, sometimes maybe a little too much, putting pressure on himself, but really after every start tries to break down what went right, what went wrong, how can I be better, what do I work on.
This year it's just been some inconsistencies mechanically with his delivery, the timing of it. He's been trying to simplify it, and he really has.
Span's going to go to center, and that's going to be a base hit. That's what the Nationals needed. So Span is on with a leadoff single here in the 6th inning. 3 singles in the ball game for Washington. They have not had a runner to second base yet. And Tillman will be working. Rendon, who has struck out and flied out. Young second baseman with a chance to maybe get an inning going.
Yeah, very dangerous. He's having a great offensive year. You see the numbers there, the 12 home runs, but he can also work the gaps as well. 50 RBI already.
Been a real good table setter. Leads the Nationals in runs scored with 60. He'll put that one up in the air. Center field. Adam Jones back and looking, and goodbye. Home run. Rendon has tied the ball game up here in the 6th inning with a 2 RBI homer off Tillman, and this game is knotted at 2 apiece.
Showing some pretty impressive power here. Gets a fastball on the inner 3rd. Look at him stay inside this. Hands tight to the body. A lot of strength right there. Right to an Oriole fan, and have it back, Mr. Rendon.
His 13th home run of the season, and Rendon gets RBIs 51 and 52. And just like that, each team's got 2 runs on 4 hits. The 12th home run on the season surrendered by Tillman. 6 and 6 from righty lefties. Jason Worth. That one will be bounced outside. Worth has struck out twice. Rendon's first game against the Orioles, he gets a 2-run homer. Cruz's first game against the Nationals, he gets a 2-run homer.
At the same spot too.
Yep. 1-1 delivery, and he was going for a homer, and the count goes to 1-2.
Chris Tillman reaches back. His best fastball of the night, 94 miles an hour to get it by Jason Worth. Working up and away there.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Everybody straight away defensively, and a 2-ball 2-strike count.
That fired him up. 95 on the last pitch.
Worth only a 200 average lifetime against the Orioles, but he does have 3 home runs against the O's. 2-2 delivery to him. That's nubbed off the end and foul.
Somehow able to fight to stay alive and get another good changeup. Chris Tillman, after a 94 mile an hour fastball, then a 95, drops an 83 mile an hour change. Worth lucky. That ball caught the end of the bat to keep his bat alive.
2-ball 2-strike count. Grounded down to third. Long throw, Manny Machado. That's where you need the cannon, and he's got it. Davis keeps that foot on the bag as he hauls it in.
Now, this is one of the great separators. Why Manny Machado won the Platinum Glove last year. Has the ability to play so deep, and look at him. He's on the outfield grass. There aren't many shortstops or second basemen, if any, that can make the throw as well as Machado. The strong arm, and Jason Worth still runs pretty well. He's able to get him by a step.
Good combo, Machado Davis on the putout. LaRoche up. He has grounded out, flied out. Full shift put on against him. Scope out in shallow right field. LaRoche will put it up in the air. That's hit hard. Left center field. Jones is it lined up? No. Cruz does and hauls it in. On the warning track, chased down by Nelson Cruz. And there are 2 down. As promised earlier in the game, our AT&T's fan photo. Send yours in. You never know. You may make air. Nice play by Cruz. His outfield abilities defensively had been considered shaky coming into this season. They're not. He may not be a great outfielder, but he is more than adequate. Better than average, both with the arm and with the glove. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, and the pitch is taken for a strike. He's flied out, grounded out.
Yeah, well, of course, his whole career played right field for the Texas Rangers, still coming over here to the Orioles. And, you know, there was talk they wanted to keep Nelson Cruz healthy, and Buck Showalter's done a real nice job balancing out his playing time in the field and DHing him. He needs that bat in the lineup and wants to keep his legs fresh all season. When Cruz does get the opportunity to play defense, you know, he shows what he's done his whole career. Run him down. He tracked that one down deep to left center.
It's his 40th game for the Orioles, starting in left field tonight. And a swing and a miss. Ryan Zimmerman, 1-ball 2-strike count, 2 away, 2 runs in, the home run. Rendon got it. His 13th of the year, bringing in Span, who picked up the single to get on ahead of him. 82 pitches thrown. A real good ball game to start out this series. Tillman's delivery will be in the dirt away.
Not a terrible breaking ball. I mean, he bounced it, but I'd rather see that with the 2 strikes than losing it arm side up in the zone. He's lost a couple early in the ball game. He's starting to bury the curve. That's a better pitch to throw. Might get some chases there. The velocity's up right now in the middle part of this ball game, starting to bury the curve. So still looking pretty good.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. Zimmerman carries a hot bat into the ball game since June 24, hitting .356. He's had 9 RBIs and drawn 7 walks over that time frame. A .356 batting average, though, real hot in the last 3 weeks. 3-2 the count with 2 down. You'll get the ground ball to short up the middle. Hardy's there, and that will retire the side. But 2 runs in on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. Rendon getting the homer, and this ball game tied at 2-2. His 300th career game, did so in only 9 seasons. He'd go on to win 361. In 1937, Franklin D. Roosevelt, the first U.S. president to attend an all-star game that was played right here in D.C. at Old Griffith Stadium. And in 71, Commissioner Bowie Kuhn and the Hall of Fame president Paul Kirk announced that Negro League players would be considered as full members if voted on into Cooperstown. There had been discussion of having a separate wing, not to be. 2-2 ball game. Here is Chris Davis, and he will foul that one off outside of first base. Chris has flied out and struck out. The 199, 42 RBIs and 13 home runs. Chris has had 3 career home runs against the Nationals. Pitches inside to him. So knotted up here with the ball game moving into the 7th inning. Each team 2-4-0 in the game. Strasburg has struck out 8, walked none. Davis on a pitch in on the fists a little bit, 1-2.
A pretty good swing right there from Chris Davis. Now he's been a little bit in between. You saw on that first pitch breaking ball. Very rarely do you see those kind of half swings from Chris Davis. Typically he lets it fly. So not seeing the ball as well as we've seen him here lately.
Little chopper down to first base. LaRoche is there. He'll go to the bag and record the out. We're talking about Kid Nichols, who is a member of the Hall of Fame, one of the game's great pitchers. You see the numbers he put up, elected in 49 by the Veterans Committee, 361 career wins. How about this? 30 or more wins in 7 years. He had 532 complete games in 562 starts.
Oh my gosh. And he didn't have Tommy John surgery?
Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. That is just unbelievable. Ground ball off the glove of Strasburg. Rendon plays it and gets the out. Well, that's what he's been giving the Nationals at second base. And Hardy is retired. It'll go 1-4-3.
Well, pretty impressive play here. Line drive back up the middle, and this is a tough angle for a second baseman. He barehands the play and a strong throw across the diamond. I didn't think there was a chance there, and he gets Hardy by a half a step.
Impact player. He's had the home run. Now makes a fine defensive play. Hundley has grounded out and struck out. We were just talking about Rendon between innings coming out of Rice.
Right. Yeah.
Same class Bundy was in.
Yeah, he had a bad ankle that year. He was considered the best all-around player, I think, in that draft. And some teams at the top drafting early, I think, were a little timid in taking a chance because he had some ankle problems. Didn't play a lot. Well, Nationals take a chance on him, and here he is, potential all-star and having an outstanding season.
And it'll be foul back. Andy had to learn that new position, which is pretty amazing that you make the move from third base where he played, come into pro ball and go to second base, because that's significantly different.
It really is, but I guess a tribute to him and what kind of athlete he is. Now, they say he's a much better third baseman, potentially could be the best third baseman in the National League when he gets his opportunity there, but he's willing to make the adjustment to second base, and after that defensive play we just saw, he's made that adjustment.
2 down, nobody on here. Nick Hundley with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Strasburg has retired the side in order 3 times already, and the breaking ball taken down low. We're in the 7th inning of a 2-2 ball game, dominated by the pitchers, and each team with a home run cruise for the Orioles, Rendon for the Nationals. Nelson getting a 2 RBI homer in the 4th inning. 2-2 delivery on the way, and Strasburg has picked up his 9th strikeout, and he retires the side in order again. 7th inning stretch time from D.C. Thorne and Mike Bordick, kind of the game we expected, Mike, with these 2 starters out there. You expected them both to be good. They've been really good.
Well, Chris Tillman has been pitching very well here recently, and it's nice to see him continue this trend. And, of course, he's matched up against one of the better arms in the National League, Steven Strasburg. If not for Nelson Cruz and Rendon, I mean, this could potentially be a shutout ball game, a couple 2-run home runs for each team. But, yeah, the pitching has been there. Both seem to have great command of all their pitches, so it's who lasts longer now.
And now we get down to the point of the bullpen start to move around a little bit. You wonder how long each of these pitchers will be able to stay in the ball game as the starters. And great to see this kind of game being played by 2 teams, both of whom have a real shot at being division winners.
Oh, yeah, and they've been playing great baseball. Finally healthy, both teams. They kind of kept their heads above water for the first half of the season, and now, you know, playing great baseball. And they come in, I think both teams actually peaking here before the All-Star break, and we're seeing what it's all about. Great pitching right now, really good defense, and, of course, the timely hitting and the power that both teams possess.
Yeah, we go. The 7th inning. Tillman and Strasburg both have been efficient As far as the number of pitches that they have thrown in the game, 86 on the board now for Tillman. Bryce Harper leading it off. The ever dangerous pitch is going to be taken up high. Harper's had the 0 for 2 as he has popped out and flied out. And Tyler Clippard's up in the bullpen. Our first bullpen action for either team. Strasburg, chance he would get up. He'd be fourth due in the inning. Swing and a miss on a great pitch that was kept down and away, and a 2-ball 1-strike count of Bryce Harper. Outfield will move a little to left now with the count at 2-1.
Now what potentially happens in the National League ball games, these tie games, as they get deeper in, you know, of course a starting pitcher wants to stay in as long as possible, but there are offensive opportunities to win games. The bullpen has to be ready. That's why Clippard up in the Nationals pen.
Harper taking the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carrying a .304 average against the Orioles into the start of this 4-game series back here at Nationals Park tomorrow, and then at Camden Yards Wednesday and Thursday. Got him, and there was no question. Whatever Harper was looking for, that wasn't it.
A real good breaking ball here from Chris Tillman. I mean, it is up in the air, but there's so much tight rotation. It drops down in and catches the strike zone. Harper sees that late bite, and off he goes. He knows it's a strike. See him recognize the ball, and it drops down into the zone. He just turns around and walks back. Not a question asked.
We strikeout number 5 for Tillman in the ball game, and still only that 1 walk on his side of the ledger. Here is Desmond with a big cut. In Desmond with a strike on him. He has grounded out to third twice. Manny Machado, fine play the last time around.
Seeing a little of everything in this ball game. The great pitching, the great defense, the power hitting.
Boy, he came back right there with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that Desmond couldn't get the bat moving on.
It's really nice to see Tillman's velocity. I mean, command of all of his pitches right now, and it's nice to see as the game has progressed here, 6th and 7th inning. Seems like he's had his best stuff.
0-2 the count. Ian Desmond waiting on it, and he's gone. That was an into Twa bat right there, and a couple of strikeouts here in the 7th inning.
93 miles an hour painted on the outside corner. Hundley setting up away. Catches the edge of the plate, holding that good velocity. Good fastball from Tillman. Creates that great downhill angle. Tough to get to.
Tillman has not reached this strikeout level since May 26, when he had 7 strikeouts. He's got 6 so far in this ball game, and in the last half dozen starts, strikeouts have not been there. If you go through the last starts, he's had 2, 2, 2, none, 3, 1, 3, and that takes you all the way back to May 26.
Yeah, he had been battling with some command issues here over his last 5 or 6 starts, and the velocity has been kind of inconsistent up and down, but it's starting to come back. And that certainly aided Tillman here in this start. His ability to throw his off-speed pitches for strikes. The changeup was big throughout the early part of this game, and now the breaking ball starting to show itself.
Ramos on a swing and a miss. He had a base hit his last time up. 1 for 2, an 11-game hit streak for the catcher. Franson is waiting on deck, so he would pinch hit for Strasburg if the inning stays alive. Clippard's ready to go in the bullpen. Strasburg, no walks, 9 strikeouts. And a swing and a miss, and a pitcher was up that time at, again, 93 miles an hour. So he's got the Nationals hitters guessing right now, and they're not guessing right.
Well, the elevated fastball can be really effective if you show that you can command the bottom of the zone. And Tillman has been doing that with his fastball and changeup. And when it's elevated, there's that extra life to get it by the hitters.
Ramos takes it into the gap. He's got another base hit. Jones will cut it off. Ramos will round and stay. Good throw. Adam Jones right on the money. The second base. So Ramos 2 for 3, a 2-out single here in the 7th inning. The Orioles will return home For the first time after the All-Star break on Tuesday, July 29, a 3-game set against the Angels. Don't miss the next Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Every Tuesday home game, all upper reserves, only $9. So celebrate the second half of the year. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848. So Strasburg is through for the night. Orioles won't be unhappy about that. Not that it's going to get any easier, not with the bullpen they've got. And Kevin Franzen will come on to pinch hit.
Yeah, they really have a great bullpen. Some big time arms out there. Franzen had some playing time early with some injuries to the infield. He has some potential. I mean, he's got a home run this season, hitting 240, 242 on the year.
Boy, what a job he's done pinch hitting. He is 7 for 24. He's been their primary pinch hitter with a home run. And the pitch will be taken down low. Hundley will make the stop. 5 hits now for the Nationals. The 2-out single. It's Ramos on at first base. Now Franzen coming on to pinch hit for Strasburg to try and keep this inning going with 2 down. Any runs here, of course, would be to Strasburg's benefit. 1-0 count with 2 away. Very short lead at first base. Tillman's delivery, a fastball that's going to be away. 2-0.
Walter pacing a little bit. See John Russell giving some signs. Can't see that Ramos is going anywhere at first base, but certainly want to keep the opposing team thinking.
2-0 delivery on the way. You'll get it in there. You saw Buck Showalter on the bullpen phone. Tillman would be due up second in the 8th inning. This will probably be it for Chris, as the Orioles now will start making decisions on who they want to have ready. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Franzen pinch hitting in a 2-2 ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tillman a look. Franzen fouls it back.
Tillman showing the fastball to Franzen. Of course, we've seen his other weapons in this ball game. He's used the changeup as a strikeout pitch and the ability to bury that breaking ball for a strikeout. See if he goes to it here. Ryan Webb up in the Orioles pen.
2-2, runner staying, ball hit in the air, right field. Markakis will back up a couple of steps and put it away. So Franzen retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on 7, complete. 2-2.
3.
Over 35,000 on hand to watch the Nationals and the Orioles go at it. Tillman and Strasburg, the 2 starters, outstanding. The defense behind each of those starters, even better. Then Cruz delivered the 2-run homer in the 4th inning. 28th of the year. The Orioles had the lead, tied up. Rendon's homer, 6th inning, good for 2 as well. So now Chris Tillman will sit and hope for some offensive help as Strasburg is done.
Pretty good performance though. 7 strong innings, 4 hits allowed, the 2 earned runs, that 2-run shot by Nelson Cruz, no walks, and the 9 strikeouts keep his strikeout totals climbing. 104 pitches on the night. Now Tyler Clippard in the ballgame. 41 games this season, 189 earned run average, 50 strikeouts, 17 walks in his 38 innings of work. The opponent's hitting just 200, lefties at 258, righties way down to 145. A couple home runs given up, both by righties. Fastball, changeup dominant pitcher. That fastball 90 to 94 miles an hour. That changeup, one of his better pitches.
And Jonathan Scope will take a look at a 91 mile an hour fastball. It'll be Scope, Tillman due up, and then Nick Markakis. Tillman will be coming out of the ball game for a pinch hitter. Scope with a 1-0 count, and a ball up the middle and off the mound and into center field. So the Orioles get a leadoff man on as Clippard surrenders a single to the first batter that he faces.
Oh, nice piece of hitting here. Clippard tough to pick up because he's got that high front side where he lifts his front arm up. And Scope able to stay on the fastball down in the zone and drive it back through the middle for the knock.
Delman Young will be the pinch hitter for the Orioles. With that big .310 batting average overall, Young has been sensational pinch hitting, 7 for 13 with a home run and 3 pinch hit RBIs. Each team now with 5 hits. This has been a tit for tat ball game. Every time one team scores, other recreates it, and the hits have been evenly matched up. Darren O'Day in the bullpen for the Orioles. There is Chris Tillman hoping the Orioles can take the lead here. That would go to his credit as Tillman works the 7 innings, 5 hits, couple of runs off the home run. Throw over to get him back. He walked only 1 and struck out 6. Tillman had an outstanding performance, and if the Orioles can get a run here, he's got a chance to be the winner.
Yeah, both starters just what the managers want. Get deep into a ball game, give their team a chance. Just a couple 2-run shots for both teams.
0-1 count. Runner not going.
There's the changeup. Pretty impressive sell. Got the good arm action, and we talk about his kind of a funky delivery as he lifts up that front side, and it's kind of a violent arm action. It just comes out about 10 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
29-year-old right-hander who's been a real workhorse out of the bullpen and very effective. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and Young will take it, framed for 4 or 5 seconds by Ramos. They wanted the call, didn't get it.
He also has a split finger. And look at how this tumbles and almost works itself back over the outside corner. Almost a screwball type effect as it fades back in, just missing the outside edge.
Runner on, nobody out. Delman Young, the pinch hitter for the Orioles. LaRoche holding the runner at first base. Scope not going, and a swing and a miss.
Pretty nasty pitch right there. Take a look here. Split finger again, and the bottom just drops out of it, down and away. Tough pitch to handle.
He is a strikeout pitcher. He leads the Nationals bullpen in wins. He's got 6. He's got 19 holds. That's number 1 for the team, and he's got 51 strikeouts, more than anybody else in the Nationals bullpen. 1 down, top of the order. Here's Nick Markakis, and Nick will take the pitch. That is in there for a strike. Nick's got an 0 for 3 in the ball game, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground.
Really likes his changeup. Starts Markakis off with the change, and he isn't afraid to use it to lefties and righties.
Clippard has not given up a run in 29 of the last 30 times he's been out there on the mound. 0-1 count. Scope still not moving at first base. Markakis will take it, and that one's going to miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Clippard's appeared against the Orioles 12 previous times in his career, working 11 and a third innings. The Orioles teams have scored 6 runs on 14 hits against him, hitting him at a 298 clip. But those were days when Clippard was not putting up the kind of numbers he's putting up now. Now the fans get a little competition going. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to be up high. And the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike on Nick Markakis. We are in the 8th inning of a 2-2 ball game. Each team now will be trying to get that next run across the plate, however it can come. Scope with a leadoff single, trying to gauge Clippard's delivery to the plate. Two-1, runner not going. Markakis the other way down the line, and that will be a foul ball.
Snuck it down there. Well, late in the ball game, especially National League games, you have to take a look at the strength of your bench. Of course, Steve Pearce, who's been an everyday player here last month for the Orioles, he's over there on the Orioles bench. David Lowe, the great defensive plays, and of course the big hit. He's on the bench as well. So the good speed there. Of course, Pearce power. Be some opportunities as both benches now, as they go to the bullpen, pitchers come back around.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Markakis 2 for 6 lifetime off Clippard. Delivery to him, ground ball up the middle. He's got a base hit. Scope will make the turn and stay as Span charges to make sure the runner cannot go to third base. But the Orioles now have 2 on, 1 out, and here comes the hottest hitter in the ball game tonight.
Oh, Manny Machado, 3 hits on the night there. Whistles a double down the line in his first at bat. Keeps the hands inside for a second hit single. And here another base hit through the 5-6 hole. Not only with the bat though, he's been throwing the leather around as well. Beautiful defensive play as he reaches out and fires across the field. So made a nice play deep on the outfield grass. See Manny Machado's hit speeds here with his 3 hits, 107 miles an hour off the bat on that double.
Big chance here, and he's hitting 290 with runners in scoring position. 2 on and only 1 out. Machado trying to put the Orioles on top in the 8th inning, and the pitch is there for a strike. Manny getting his first chance tonight with a runner in scoring position. The Orioles haven't had many of those in this ball game. Went 0 for 2 in the first inning. Clippard will step off. Scope will go back to the bag at second. Outfield straight away. Good lead at second. Pitch will be taken outside. Machado watching it, and it goes to 1-1.
Seeing the ball so well right now and using the whole field. Nice and quiet. He is very dangerous when he is locked in.
The 3 hits he's had here tonight in this ballpark, now he's got 7 hits in 11 at bats here at Nationals Park. Delivery on the way down to third base. There's 1. And off the mark at first. The ongoing problem for Zimmerman, making throws over to first base. It is a struggle. He gets the out at third.
Yeah, he's had some problems. Nice play. Now the glove work no problem, but see the mechanics on the throw, and kind of yoinks away up the line. LaRoche really prepared for it, able to handle that ball easily to keep runners at first and second base. Now Matt Williams, a great third baseman in his own right. We'd love to see Zimmerman come up with that big potential inning play.
So now there are 2 down. Adam Jones gets the chance. He is 0 for 3. Markakis the lead runner at second base. Manny Machado reaching on the fielder's choice. That should have been a double play. And the pitch to Jones will catch the outside corner for a strike. Jones 2 for 7 off Clippard. Adam has been, of course, big time run producer. 306 with runners in scoring position on the year for Adam. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. He lifts it in the air left field. That's going to be near the line. Harper gets over, and he's got it in foul territory. And the Orioles are retired in the 8th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 are left on. 2-2.
Of all of his pitches, Jason Worth going down on the breaking ball. Rendon, one of the Nats' hottest hitters, goes down a nice slider with a high change. Strasburg, there's another good breaking ball there, and the fastball heated up as the game went on. 93 on the fastball to get another strikeout. 7 strong innings, 5 hits allowed, 2 runs. It was a 2-run shot by Rendon. Just 1 walk. That's huge for Chris Tillman with the 6 punch outs, 103 pitches thrown. And here's a look at the Jiffy Lube pitching change. The Orioles can check this pitching change off their to-do list. Isn't it time for you to check oil change off yours? Come into Jiffy Lube and help keep your vehicle running longer. Well, Darren O'Day into the ball game to relieve Chris Tillman. 38 games, 2-1 record. Look at that earned run average at 1.19. 37 strikeouts in his 37 2/3 innings of work. Just 8 walks. Opponents hitting .218 overall. A couple home runs given up. Lefties at .244. Righties down to .205.
Against the Nationals, this will be his 5th career appearance. He's worked 5 innings and given up nothing with 1 walk, couple of strikeouts. So this great game goes on down to the point now where one can win it. And Manny Machado again will move in at third base as Span will lead it off yet again. He got a walk leading off the 1st inning, and in the 6th inning he got a leadoff single and scored on Rendon's home run. Now he leads off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Nationals. 1 for 2.
Span has a shortened up infield with Manny Machado tight at third base, and Jonathan Scope even sneaking up at second.
Great speed that you're trying to keep off the base paths with that defense right there. So the middle of the order against O'Day, top of the order against O'Day, but with the Rendon number 2 hitter having hit the home run, then you got Worth and LaRoche. 1-0 count. O'Day's delivery, and that will be taken outside. So O'Day falls behind him 2-0. Darren was lonely out there in the bullpen in Boston yesterday as he did not appear. The Orioles trying to keep somebody fresh in the long 12-inning ball game as both teams went through their bullpens yesterday. McFarland, Webb, Mattis, Hunter, Brock and Britton for the Orioles all appeared. And the pitch will catch the outside corner. So Span waiting. He'll take a walk here if he could get one, and the count goes to 2-1.
A tough stretch for the Orioles up there in Boston. Of course, that doubleheader, Miguel Gonzalez really kind of saved the day in the first start. Even though they ended up losing the game, he pitched really deep to kind of save the pen. They used the whole bullpen up basically in the second game, and then of course had to use them again yesterday in the extra inning affair.
2-ball, 1-strike count to the Nationals leadoff batter. Span will take it. 3-1. So O'Day certainly not wanting to issue any free pass here. Again, we remind you the Orioles did call up Julio DePaula, the veteran right-hander from Bowie, signed at the end of last month from an independent league by the Orioles, who hasn't been in the majors, 2007. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Delivery on the way to Span. He takes. O'Day gets it in. So now the infield will back up with a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Span clearly coming up looking for that free pass, willing to take a couple of strikes. Left-handed hitter will move back in. And the outfield backs up maybe a couple of steps in center Jones. O'Day ready, 3-2 delivery, and Span will launch it to short, and right there is Hardy. That ball was tagged. That had mustard on it, but right into a well-positioned shortstop.
Yeah, that was a bullet. J.J. Hardy, perfect defensive positioning by infield coach Bobby Dickerson. He's there to take that base hit away. Talk about those averages coming down. That's why little shifts, the movement of the infield. J.J. Hardy, sure as you can get at shortstop to snag that base hit away from Span.
Those shifts becoming ever more precise. Movement coming to the point of where it's almost on every pitch, depending on the count. Rendon delivered the home run, his 13th of the year, 6th inning, tied the ball game up 1-for-3. O'Day's pitch to him will be on the outside corner for a strike. Rendon continuing to have the magnificent season. 283 is average now, 52 RBIs for it. One down, 0-1, nobody on. Rendon will hit it off the end of the bat. Manny Machado will cut it off. Plenty of time. 2 down. 2 away, nobody on. The All-Star voting not quite over. You can vote for the final player for each league roster until Thursday at 4. Go to Orioles.com, cast your All-Star final vote for the final 2 All-Stars for the game in Minnesota. Vote at Orioles.com or on your mobile phone. One final chance for the fans to have an impact on the All-Star game coming up in Minnesota. Aaron O'Day, 2 down, nobody on. Worth taking his time. He's had a couple of strikeouts and a ground ball out. Fine play made by Manny Machado on him in the 6th inning. Danger here, though, with that power. 2 down. And the pitch will miss outside for a ball.
Yeah, Jason Worth has been red hot. Of course, we talked about him being the National League Player of the Week. Rafael Soriano of the Nats bullpen getting loose.
1-0 count with 2 down. Worth will take it. O'Day will get it in there for a strike. Jason Worth has divided up the long balls this season. 4 here, 4 on the road. And the average, too, came in 277 here, 283 on the road. Not much difference. Quality numbers, both home and away. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery by O'Day, and that'll be outside. The Nationals here in their home ballpark have put up some decent numbers. That Williams Ball Club has pitched really well here at home. They've hit for a 262 batting average, much better than 232 on the road. And a check swing called strike anyway. Pitchers for the Nationals in their home park, pitching a 2.5 ERA.
Darren O'Day's slider here, another really good one. Almost works like a changeup. You see Worth way out on that front foot. Late break at the end with the strike.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down. O'Day trying to set the side down in order. Ball put up in the air. First base. Jonathan Scope leaves it to Davis, and Davis will put it away. 1, 2, 3 inning for O'Day. We've completed 8. We go to the 9th inning here at Nationals Park. 2-2. On Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by 5 Hour Energy. Helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. Ball game tied at 2-2, and we go to the 9th inning. So you bring your closer in to try and hold it and give your team a chance to win.
Now Rafael Soriano, 21 saves already this season out of his 23 opportunities. Does have a win on the year, but look at that earned run average at 1.03, 32 strikeouts, 11 base on balls. There was some talk of him possibly being on the all-star team. Opponent average just 154, lefties at 167. The righties at 143. Now he's got a pretty strong arm. Throws that fastball 90 to 94, but he's got some cut action on his fastball, which makes him so effective. Also has a 2-seam fastball and a slider. So just basically a 2-pitch pitcher that gets a good movement on that 4-seam fastball, and that's his primary pitch.
So Rafael Soriano on in relief of Tyler Clippard, who worked an inning, gave up a couple of hits, and had 1 strikeout. Nelson Cruz will lead it off for the Orioles here in the 9th inning, and he's going to lead it off with a base hit. First pitch seen is a single here in the top of the 9th inning, so a 2-for-4 day. Cruz had his 28th home run with 1 aboard that came in the 4th. Now let's see how the Orioles play this. You got the middle of the order, Chris Davis, and then Hardy coming up against Soriano. These hitters have seen Soriano before. Davis 2-for-4 against him. Hardy's 0 for 9. And Davis will take the pitch inside for a ball.
Well, you play it like you hope Chris Davis starts to heat up. I mean, there's the hole over there with Nelson Cruz at first base. Chris Davis, we've seen the big shifts, and they're not really shifting on him, so there's an opportunity there.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes. Put Gibson down at third base. Let's take a look.
Fastball down and in. It's really close. Looks like he held up here.
Yep. Soriano with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Cruz the short lead at first. Davis the big cut on a heater. 1-2. Soriano has been quite the closer. He's 34 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Rafael Soriano, 43 saves last year with Washington, 42 the year before that with the Yankees, 45 with Tampa Bay in 2010. A lob toss over.
He's one of the closers, and we've seen some great ones in the past with that cut four-seam fastball. Of course, nowadays it's David Robertson, Mariano Rivera.
Hold your breath on that one. Either way, 2-2.
Comes with a 92-mile-an-hour heater, trying to catch that inside corner and just off the plate. Soriano wanted it. Chris Davis saying, no way, that was a ball.
Both managers have been leaning close to the top step here as the game's gone along. Davis is gone. Second strikeout in the ball game for him. 0 for 4 for Davis.
Now pitches all over the place. Hard inside, then up and away. Once again, a little in between on the check.
So now one down. That'll bring up Hardy. J.J. Hardy hit one hard up the middle last time up. Strasburg got a glove on it though and ended up being a 1-4-3 out. And he will take the pitch away for a ball. We are in the top of the ninth inning. Ball game tied at 2. The Orioles are 2-7-0. The Nationals 2-5-0. Strasburg and Tillman, great starts. Tillman 2 runs 5 hits over 7. Strasburg 2 runs 4 hits over 7. Ball goes in the air to right field, right at Jason Worth. He'll gun it to first base, trying to get a double play, but Cruz was only a step away from the bag. 2 down.
Jason Worth likes to show off that strong arm he possesses out there in right field.
Plays the game with a little flair, doesn't he?
He does.
He does.
He was a catcher drafted by the Orioles a while ago.
Yep. So Nick Hundley stands in. Outfield will shade to right. Hundley a couple of strikeouts and he is grounded out. Runner at first. And that ball put up in the air. Shallow center field. Span coming in. And he'll get there. So Soriano gets it done to spread a leadoff single. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Bottom of the ninth. 2-2. (126, 35, 126 the number. Cruz the home run for the Orioles that gave them the 2-0 lead in the 4th inning. Rendon tied it up in the 6th with his 2-run homer. O'Day is going to stay on. as he worked that eighth and retired the side in order.
Now let's take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers. Darren O'Day's pitch arsenal to get out of that last inning. That fastball at 58% of the time, and the breaking ball 42. So pretty consistent mix there of the fastball and his sweeping slider.
Now Darren O'Day has not worked 2 innings this year. He's worked an inning and 2/3. That's his high in innings pitched. That came on the 3rd of July against Texas. So Buck Showalter going with him with that tired bullpen he's got. For how long he'll stay with him, we'll see. But there's nobody up in the Orioles bullpen, so the intent obviously is that O'Day finishes up the 9th inning.
Well, that's really the concern. I mean, the overuse of the bullpen all year long. Buck's done an outstanding job, but the big challenge, of course, with that doubleheader and then the extra inning game, so many arms used up. You certainly don't want to risk injury.
Adam LaRoche will lead it off here in the 9th inning. Got some power coming up. LaRoche, Zimmerman, and Harper to face O'Day. 2 fly balls to left and a ground ball to second for Adam LaRoche in this game. O'Day's delivery to him will be outside for a ball. There is Drew Storn in the bullpen for Washington if we go further. O'Day ready. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. Slice the other way, foul. Mike was talking about the numbers. Starters, relievers for the Orioles. You take a look. Starter ERA for the Orioles is 10th. Innings pitched is 12th in the American League. The bullpen ERA is 7th, but the bullpen innings pitched is already up to the 2nd most in the league.
Well, it's been a concern. I mean, there have been some short outings by the rotation, just some inconsistencies there, and the overusage of the Orioles bullpen has been something that Buck Showalter has talked about all season long, and his concern to somehow try to balance that out. And he has been one of the best managers in the game in preserving the arms, really not risking anybody, and we've seen how he's worked his way through lineups with the usage of the bullpen. So to this point, just an outstanding job, but yet a lot of innings eaten up by this Orioles bullpen.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Dave Wallace done a lot of work here this season and trying to track the bullpen in particular to keep them as fresh as possible and throwing that many innings. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Infield shifted around. LaRoche will take the pitch. It's going to be away. O'Day unhappy with that. Unhappy with himself, not where he wanted that pitch to go, and the count goes to 2-2.
Well, the one thing about Darren O'Day, he's always thinking throughout an at bat. Much like a manager prepares an inning, 2 innings ahead of time to not be caught off guard. If Darren O'Day makes a mistake with a pitch, like he did on that one, he has go-to pitches to follow it up with.
2-2 delivery on the way, and there's the go-to, and he got him.
Great pitch there. Nice action on the 2-seam fastballs. It rides itself up and out of the strike zone. See it just take off to get LaRoche.
O'Day, as we said, did not pitch yesterday. He did pitch on the 5th the day before. He went an inning and recorded a couple of strikeouts against the Red Sox, so that's about as fresh as you can keep him under the circumstances of that Boston series. Here is Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman with an 0 for 3 in the ball game. 1 down, bottom of the 9th inning, and the pitch is there for the strike from O'Day. 3 home runs, 25 RBIs for him. He'll be followed by Harper. Manny Machado playing the line at 3rd against the right-hander. Step over and playing deep. 0-1 delivery. That'll be in the air to right. Markakis in the gap, trying to reach it. Reaches, can't get it. Off the wall, gonna go for 2. Markakis' throw into second base, cut off. A 1-out double by Zimmerman.
We talk about his home runs being down just 3 this season, but he's been getting worked away, and you wonder how the heck can he reach the pitch? He stands so far off the plate, but he barrels this Darren O'Day offering up beats Markakis deep. Markakis plays the ball well off the wall, but Zimmerman easily into second base.
So the ball game on the line here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Nationals have never had the lead in this game. They trailed after that 4th inning until they tied it up in the 6th. That is their 6th hit of the game. And Bryce Harper will stand in. First base is open. Desmond is waiting on deck. And the intentional pass will be surrendered to Harper to put him on at first. Harper hitting .308 with runners in scoring position this season, even with all that time out with the injuries. So Buck Showalter deciding this is not the Nationals player he's going to allow to have a chance to beat him.
No way. Not with the open base. Of course, lefties. Darren O'Day's numbers have come down against lefties this season. They still see the ball a little bit better. So that open base, put him on there. Keep that force. The double play. Keep that in order. Take your chances with Desmond, even though he has been a force offensively with the power numbers.
Decision made. It's O'Day's game. There's nobody up in the bullpen for the Orioles. Desmond's gone 0 for 3, 2 ground balls to third, and he has struck out. He has faced O'Day a couple of times, 0 for 2 against him. Bottom of the 9th inning, 2-2.
Desmond really making a name for himself throughout baseball. Not only as a really good defensive shortstop, possesses one of those incredibly gifted, strong arms out there, and he's a big kid, has a good range, but offensively, really starting to come around. See the power numbers this season, 53 RBI.
One away, infield double play depth. Pitch on the way, and a big cut trying to drive it. And Desmond with an 0-1 count from Darren O'Day. Desmond is the veteran with a capital T, longest tenured member since 04, leading the major league shortstops with the 53 RBIs. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him, and another big cut.
One thing Darren O'Day is so good at is keeping that fastball, that rising fastball, above the top of the zone. And here, back-to-back pitches in about the same location. So when you're a hitter facing Darren O'Day, you're thinking elevate. But O'Day has that great ability to keep it above the strike zone. Sure, it looks inviting, but it's rising up and out of the strike zone.
This is the first chance with a runner in scoring position tonight for the Nationals, and just able to reach that and foul it back. And the count stays at 0-2 on Desmond, with Ramos scheduled up next. Matt Williams looking across the way at his former manager, Buck Showalter. They were in Arizona. Williams was the player and Buck was the skipper.
Matt Williams, a great third baseman.
The one that matters out at second base, Zimmerman. 0-2 count on Ian Desmond. O'Day's delivery to him, that'll be down the line in right field and foul.
Tries to get him again. He calls it the Jenny Finch, the rising fastball at the top of the zone. A lot of different ways here Darren O'Day can get a hitter. Ahead 0-2. See the pitch track, nothing in the heart of the plate. You can sweep that slider off the outer edge. Continue to try to rise it up and out of the zone.
.0-2 count, runners off first to second base. Good secondary lead at second, and a swing and a miss. And O'Day gets his second strikeout of the inning.
Big time slider right here from Darren O'Day. Got to look at the location. It works itself off the plate about 6 or 8 inches, just off the end of the bat. Desmond, big strikeout in a big situation for Darren O'Day.
So Ramos, the catcher, who's been hitting the ball, a couple of singles, 2 for 3, an 11-game hit streak. He's done well in these opportunities this season, hitting .360 with runners in scoring position, 9 for 25. 2 down and 2 on in the bottom of the 9th. And Ramos will foul it off the catcher Hundley for strike 1.
Right off the top of the knee there. Aaron O'Day starting him off with the slider. Almost tries to go out and get it. Yeah, right off the kneecap. Now, one thing Ramos has done in this ball game, picking up his 2 base hits, were both on elevated fastballs from Chris Tillman, right at the top of the zone. So Darren O'Day and Hundley have to be careful about that. He's been able to stay on top of the ball and pick up some line drives,
especially with O'Day's tendency to bring the ball up, which is where he's been very effective. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the inside corner, and the count goes to 0-2 and Ramos.
O'Day kind of smiling. He lost that one, stayed over the plate. Now when you're a hitter and you know Darren O'Day is going to work the slider, and typically it's off the outside corner, your eyes are set up out there. So Darren O'Day able to get away with a pitch that worked itself on the inside, inner third.
Familiar face, Nate McLouth, waiting on deck. 0-2, 2 down. Runners off first and second, and the 0-2 delivery. Ramos will foul it off. Came back to 80 miles an hour on that one, and out in front just tipped it foul.
So kind of funny. He gets a couple Darren O'Day's best sliders where they work themselves off the plate about 6 inches, are the 2 pitches that he swung at, and he takes the pitch that's right over the heart of the plate.
O'Day taking his time, looking for this final out. Zimmerman at the 1-out double. He's the run out there at second that could win the ball game if they can get him in. O'Day wants to send this deeper. See where Hundley's going to set up here. Moves outside. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and it's up high. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Zimmerman, trying to get as big a lead as possible, is almost running. Once the ball's delivered, he had to run back the other way to get back to second base.
Well, both Zimmerman and Harper can really extend their leads. Of course, Zimmerman wants to score that winning run, but if there's a ground ball up the middle, Harper wants to try to beat that force at second base.
And he can get a big lead with Davis playing way behind him. 1-2 again. The delivery on the way. Ramos will go down swinging. And O'Day strikes out the side in the 9th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on. And in this first meeting with the Orioles and the Nationals, we're going to give you some free baseball. Can't beat that. Well, in this ball game, 2 swings of the bats have provided the only runs. For the Orioles, Nelson Cruz delivering the homer in the 4th inning is 28th league leading. That would give the Orioles the 2-0 lead. It would stand up until the 6th inning. Span had a single, and Rendon, their second baseman, drove one for his 13th of the year. That tied the ball game up at 2-2, and that's been it.
Yeah, it's been a great ball game. Quite a pitcher's duel now into the bullpens, but Steven Strasburg, the 7 strong innings, just the 4 hits, and Chris Tillman, 7 innings, 5 hits allowed. So it was quite a battle. It was fun to watch the 2 starters go to work. It was fun to watch the 2 hitters hit the 2-run homers as well. Now Drew Storen in the ball game, 32 games this season at 1.33 earned run average, 22 strikeouts, just 5 walks. Opponents hitting 200 overall, lefties at 220, righties at 185, and he's another power arm out of this Nats bullpen. That 4-seam fastball, you can get up to 95 miles an hour. There's a hard slider and changeup to go along with it.
26-year-old right-hander on the mound, another strikeout pitcher. He will face Jonathan Scope. Then the Orioles will have a pinch hitter for O'Day. And Jonathan Scope will take the pitch, and it is in there for a strike. Steve Pearce coming out into the on-deck circle to pinch hit for O'Day. What a job by Darren O'Day. First 2-inning performance of the year. He gives up only 1 hit, an intentional walk, and struck the side out in the 2 innings worked. That'll be bounced away by Storen. So we are in the 10th. The Orioles 7-3 in extra inning ball games, 2-7 for the Nationals, and TJ McFarland going again as he gets up in the bullpen. And Buck Showalter, you saw he had nobody up with O'Day pitching in the 9th. He doesn't want to get anybody up in the pen unless he's going to be bringing them in. Down to third, in close. Zimmerman, he's got it, makes the throw over to first base. 1 down.
Zimmerman in tight. Actually really aggressive on that jam shot from Jonathan Scope. But it's been kind of an adventure watching him try to get that ball over to first base, but that went on target to get the first out.
Steve Pearce coming on. Co-player of the week. Extra inning ball games. Buck Showalter's pretty good number with that almost 54% win percentage. Pearce will take the pitch, and it'll be down low for a ball. Adam Jones and Steve Pearce, co-players of the week in the American League. He has just been sensational for the Orioles. Pearce is a pinch hitter, 4 for 10, including a pinch hit home run and 4 RBIs. 1-0 delivery on the way, and a swing on Storen's delivery that was up, fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing you've seen about the hot hitters for the Orioles, of course, they're going really well and they're seeing the ball big time. Take a look at Steve Pearce's numbers this year. That .326 average, 10 home runs and 30 RBI, compared to last year at this time, .235, 3 home runs and 9 RBI. So he's been hot. Buck Showalter really can't get him out of the lineup.
Ball put high in the air to left. Hyper. You put that one away. Pearce is retired, and there are 2 down in the top of the 10th. Storen getting a couple of outs. He pitched on Sunday against Chicago. Storen had a blown save in that game. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits with no walks, with 1 walk and no strikeouts in his last outing. Top of the order, Nick Markakis. Nick with a base hit. Last time up, he is 1 for 4 in the ball game. 2-2 in the 10th. Storen's delivery to him, breaking ball, bouncing off the plate. Storen last year with Washington was in 68 games. He went 4-2, all in relief, had 3 saves. 61 innings, 65 hits last year against him. Tommy Hunter is now up in the bullpen along with McFarland. Boy, how to manage the bullpen right now as you look at Nelson Cruz. Minds turning. You got to figure on everything here. You may have to go long. What are you going to do if that happens? Who's going to pitch? 1 ball, 1 strike count. 2 down.
Yeah, it's hard. Of course, Buck Showalter, we've talked about his great ability to manage the bullpen and keep those arms healthy. He's really in a bind right now with the overusage, especially over the weekend.
Down to the seats it goes, and a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Nick.
Showalter, John Russell talking things over and trying to keep themselves prepared for potential happenings here in the extra innings.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that will be a little bit low. Nick takes on a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
You see why Storen can be so tough. I mean, the good strikeout numbers once again this season, but he's nice and quiet as he starts his delivery, and then there's just some violent action there and effort on the finish. Well, he has a good effect on his changeup, and of course that fastball comes out of his hand pretty good.
That's going to go to short. It's going to be a long throw. Desmond Nunn. So Nick Markakis will deliver an infield single. 2 for 5 ball game now for Markakis. It comes with 2 down here in the 10th inning. Markakis on with a potential go-ahead run at first, and Manny Machado will try and get him around. Manny's had the 3-hit ball game, 2 singles and a double. Last time up, he hit into a fielder's choice. Machado looking for his first 4-hit ball game of the season. Nick standing on the bag at first base. 2 pretty good beards there, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Machado waiting on Storen. And the pitch is there for a strike. So Machado with the 3 for 4 in this ball game, 7 hits in 15 at bats so far in July. Markakis edging off first. Not a big lead though. The 0-1 delivery in the dirt. Ramos makes sure Markakis goes back to the bag.
Well, he spiked that slider a couple times here in this inning. Markakis certainly has to be aware of that. That ball can kick away from Ramos, get in scoring position.
Markakis edging off. Storen just a quick look over. And Machado will take it, and it's going to be away. 2-1. Bullpen so far: Clippard an inning, couple of hits and a strikeout. Soriano an inning, 1 hit and a strikeout. Now Storen on. The Orioles O'Day 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. 2-1. And Machado going after it, sends it to the seats. That'll even it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
93-mile-an-hour fastball, kind of Manny catching it a little deep, fouling it off to the right side.
Cruz would love to get another shot at it. He's a couple batters away though. Again, Markakis only 2 rabbit hops away from first base. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Markakis not going. Ball looped in the air, left field. Harper coming, can't get it, base hit. And the Orioles will get the potential go ahead down to second base with 2 away, as Machado has his first 4-hit game of the season.
You do what you can. You get to 2 strikes. This is a nasty pitch. Down. Manny able to use the legs and the long arms to reach out. Get just enough of the bat on it as it drops out in front of Harper for the base hit. Nice job of battling to pick up the 4 hits.
So 2 on, 2 away. And Adam Jones will stand in. Well, you got the guy up there who can get it done. Orioles 0 for 4 in the ball game in these situations. Only 2 chances for the Nationals. They both came in the 9th inning. Ball is going to be popped up in the first pitch. LaRoche, foul territory, called off. Rendon able to put it away, and that will do it in the 10th inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on. Bottom of the 10th coming up. Here 2 at Camden Yards. Would be a good time actually to go have a little food right there under the gates in Chinatown in DC. But you can't go.
No, because we have to watch TJ McFarland come in and in his 18th ball game. 3.55 earned run average, 19 strikeouts for TJ and 8 walks. Opponents hitting .313. The lefties at .306. Righties at .317. He's another one of the arms that's been used quite a bit here recently. Of course, TJ, a very versatile pitcher. He's been used in long rolls for Buck Showalter and coming in lefty matchups. And now he wants to try to slam the door here, get this Orioles offense back up, and a chance to win.
Scott Hairston will come on as the pinch hitter, the Nationals' number 9 spot here. So Soren out of there, working an inning, giving up a couple of hits. O'Day, the only one who did not pitch in the 12-inning ball game yesterday out of the bullpen, available tonight, besides the call-up, Julio DePaula. McFarland worked in that ball game yesterday as he worked an inning, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. In the air, Jones over. He's got it. Hairston retired on 1 pitch.
A nice jump right there by Adam Jones, really covering some ground, filling up that right center gap. Jones and Markakis talking about it a little bit.
So 1 pitch and 1 out in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Today, the 2 innings, giving up just the 1 hit. Top of the order, Span. Manny Machado will move in against him.
Everybody. Jonathan Scope, 5 feet. He moved in as well. Chris Davis sucked in on the right side.
Ground ball fouled off outside of first base. The National hitters coming to the plate, swinging the bat. Bullpen again. Stamen in the bullpen. McFarland has worked only 1 game ever against the Nationals. Couple of innings, no runs, 1 hit. 0-1 count. Denard Span, the leadoff batter. Base hit, run scored, has drawn a walk. He was ahead of the home run. It was picked up by Rendon to tie the ball game up in the 6th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike on Span.
Had that bullet right at J.J. Hardy in his last at bat.
Here again, you see the Oriole bullpen being controlled. We saw Tommy Hunter up for a moment with McFarland. Now there's nobody up again. I mean, generally in this situation, if you had a bullpen that was really available, you'd have somebody else up so you could match up on hitters. But the Orioles don't have that. So Buck Showalter's putting somebody in, saying the inning's yours. And there's Tommy Hunter sitting back down again so that you don't use up pitchers warming up in the bullpen. 2 ball, 1 strike delivery, grounded foul. Get the feeling this 4-game set could look a lot like this game. These two teams on paper evenly matched and playing that way in this ball game. Bud Norris, Doug Fister. Game 2 tomorrow night right back here in Nationals Park. 6:30 O's extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game. Assuming we get to leave tonight. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And that's right there. And he knew it. Just could not move the bat. Gets the strikeout.
A real good pitch here from T.J. McFarland. Dotting the fastball, 92 miles an hour, right on the outside corner. Span. This gets locked up.
Oriole pitchers have recorded 10 strikeouts in the ball game. This national team ranked 11th in strikeouts in the National League, so they K a few times. Here's Rendon, their hero offensively in this game, with that home run, his 13th in the 6th inning. Tillman gave that one up, the starter. Strasburg, the starter for the Nationals, gave up the home run to Cruz earlier in the 4th inning. And there's been no scoring other than those 2 home runs. Pitch is going to miss outside. Hundley gives him the flip of the glove, saying good locations where he wanted it. We tried to get him to go 1-1.
Yeah, trying to get him to reach, at least change the eyes, show him the outside corner, potentially eventually help get a strikeout pitch, maybe the slider down and in.
Rendon waiting on it, will foul it off. That one came down and into him in a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
That's why Hundley liked it. He improved to the fastball, running away, trying to open up that inner third. Yeah, good pitch, well executed by T.J. McFarland. Nice call by Hundley to get the 2nd strike.
1-2 with 2 away. Ground ball. Hardy knew he had to make a quick play. Tried to rush it a little bit and couldn't do it. So with 2 away here in the 10th inning, Rendon is on.
Yeah, kind of ended up getting that in between hop. See the chopper up over the head of McFarland, and then JJ trying to be aggressive with the good speed. Couldn't quite get the short hop out in front. See the little extra kick, catches him on the heel.
And Rendon's going to be credited with a single on that. That's fair. I mean, that would have been a very close play if made at all. So he'll pick up the single, 2nd hit in the ball game, and it gets Worth to the plate. 2 strikeouts, a pop out and a ground ball out for Jason Worth. 2 down in the bottom of the 10th, and Worth with power stands in again with an opportunity to do some damage. And the pitch will catch the outside corner for a strike. Worth has hit .380 off left-handers this year. 130 points higher than against right-handers.
They like it, lefty.
0-1 count. And the pitch will be taken outside, 1-1. This is what we were talking about, a situation where if you had a full bullpen ready, rested, you might bring somebody in, a right-hander, to go against him, but you just can't. You don't have the arms. If this game goes on, you got to have somebody left to pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
These are situations you know.
Not hit deep. Jones. Great job by McFarland. He gets him out of there. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. We go to the 11th inning here at Nationals Park. Ball game tied at 2-2, and the game looks just that long right there.
We might see the sunrise.
I don't like you at all.
New pitcher coming in out of the Nats bullpen. Craig Stalemate, 26 games this year, 2.68 earned run average, 35 strikeouts. It's 43 2/3 inning of work. Just the 8 walks. The opponent's hitting .216 overall. Lefties at .211, righties at .221, and he's got some good stuff. He's got 4 pitches, but he's got a funky delivery. It really helps to the effectiveness of his pitches. 2-seam fastball. He gets a pretty good sinker out of it, 88 to 93. Has a slider, curveball, and change. Primarily fastball slider mix, though.
So the Orioles hoping for another magic moment out of Nelson Cruz, who has put the 2 runs up in this game with his 28th home run. Leads the American League now in home runs and RBIs. He will face Stalemate for the first time and will take the pitch for a strike.
Look at Nelson Cruz's 2-run homer. It was a rocket to right center. Fastball from Strasburg on the outer third. He got the bat head to it quickly.
Right-hander's delivery, shattered bat, base hit. Boy, that barrel went as far as the ball did. Thrown back into second base by Desmond, but the Orioles get the lead-off man on here in the 11th inning. That was tough. Zimmerman at third was trying to get out of the way of the barrel that was coming right along with the ball.
Yeah, pretty impressive bat speed. The bat head as it's flying out there, keeping pace with the baseball. This pitch running in on Cruz, and take a look. Here comes the ball. Here comes the bat head. Zimmerman tried to cut it off, but the bat was going to get a piece of him. See him giving chase, then he has to duck out of the way. Pretty dangerous here. Exploding bat trick on the 2-seam fastball. That bat head got out of there in a hurry. See Zimmerman bailing, bat flying on, and Desmond making the play out in the outfield grass.
So the Orioles pick up hit number 10. 7 on the board for the Nationals. Chris Davis. Pitch will be taken for a strike. Here's the alignment, not the big shift that we are used to seeing against Chris Davis. He has faced Stamen before, has gone 1 for 2 against him. Couple of strikeouts, ground out, fly ball out, 0 for 4 in the ball game. And that'll be fouled off the other way, and the count goes to 0-2 on Davis.
And typically you see the shortstop pulled over on the second base side, maybe that third baseman in the rover position filling up the left side, but they're about as straight as you're ever going to see on Chris Davis. Rendon covering that whole side though with LaRoche at first base.
Chris with only 2 hits, 23 at bats so far in July. 0-2 delivery on the way. That'll be down low, stopped. Ramos had it right in front of him, and the count is 1-2.
Markakis talking things over a little bit.
Cruz 1-step lead at first. 1-2 delivery on the way, and Davis will take it. And a tough one to take, but he gets the call. 2-2.
Yeah, that two-seam fastball pretty close, but kind of worked its way off that outside corner. Good take by Davis. You see the 4th pitch on the pitch track, up and away.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Infield looking for a double play ground ball. That one down the line and foul.
Good pass right there. Chris Davis seen the fastball. Looks like he's on it. Stamen might come with something else now.
Presley hoping the offense can come through. You saw Steve Pearce over there. He's out of the ball game, having been used as a pinch hitter. 30-year-old right-hander taking a look over to first. 2-2 count on Davis. And another one. Boy, 2 pitches that have been close and not quite. We'll take it to 3-2.
Good fastball in after working him away. Tries to get the call in there. You see Ramos with the frame, but it was inside off the plate.
Very consistent home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom in this game. That's not been a strike all night. It isn't, but sometimes we'll get a call for a pitcher on that. 3-2 runner not going. Ball put up in the air. It is deep to right field. And goodbye, right center into the seats. Chris Davis launches a 2-run homer, and the Orioles have a 4-2 lead. Number 14 on the year, RBIs. 43 and 44 as Davis got it all. And another $500 for Alka Patel, our Maryland lottery contestant.
Well, the Orioles certainly needed that 2-run shot, but so did Chris Davis to help his confidence out. Too many fastballs from Stamen. Chris Davis able to time him up. He was working the fastball away throughout the at-bat. Davis with the great extension that we've seen so many times.
And the Orioles, their second home run of the ball game. Cruz and Davis, both with 2 RBI homers. There they are.
Lot of love right there.
And the Orioles, on their 11th hit of the ball game, have a 4-2 lead. Hardy, 0-2 delivery to JJ, will be grounded foul. So now the Orioles can activate their bullpen as the power bats have come through again for the O's, and for Chris Davis, it's got to feel like that old 1,000-pound gorilla.
Oh yeah,
off your back. That one by Hardy hit in the air. That's deep to left field near the bullpen. Goodbye, home run. Back-to-back homers as Hardy delivers the long ball, and the Orioles have a 5-2 lead. Number number 3 for J.J. Hardy, and his 26th RBI. And Aka Patel is liking this, our Maryland lottery contestant. He's got a grand coming out of this inning.
Everybody loving it. Home run swing back to back. Davis and Hardy. Good to see from both of them.
And they both connected. That one's going to go down the line, and it is foul off the bat of Hundley.
Take a look at J.J. Hardy's breaking ball that stays in the middle of the plate, and he catches it out front. Look at the head position down. Nice extension through the baseball out into the Orioles bullpen.
So the Orioles bats, as has been true all year, providing the runs with the long ball. 5-2 lead on a dozen hits in the game. Stamen runs into problems. Cruz, a home run, the first one that came in the 4th inning, and then the back-to-back by Davis and Hardy in this one. It is the 3rd back-to-back home run situation for the Orioles this year. Davis and Cruz had one against Pittsburgh. Fouled off. Davis and Wieters had back-to-back home runs against Toronto. And now Davis and Hardy have back-to-back home runs against the Nationals. And Tommy Hunter is up in the bullpen. 5-2. There's still nobody out here in the 11th inning. Nick Hundley waiting on it. That's going to be driven into the gap in left center field. That's a base hit. He'll make the big turn and stay as Hopper gets it back in. So 4 up and 4 on here in the 11th inning.
When we talk about the importance of Orioles home runs, the largest win percentage increase. When they don't hit a home run, their win percentage at .296. One home run or more up to .656 win percentage. That's a .360 difference. They're in the top of all of baseball. White Sox, Cubs, Royals just ahead of them. Giants just behind. So really loving the long ball to help their winning percentage.
Stamen came into this game having surrendered only 1 home run in 43 innings and has given up 2 in this inning without recording an out. And the Orioles 5 runs now on 13 hits, taking the lead here in the top of the 11th inning. The Nationals bullpen is active, but they're not going to make any move here with Jonathan Schoop coming up. Steve McCanty, the pitching coach, just trying to break the rhythm here. On at first base, Schoop up, Hundley the lead, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Aaron Barrett in the bullpen for the Nationals. They have used 4 relievers. Swing and a miss on a fastball, and Jonathan Schoop behind on the count 0-2. He's picked up a base hit, 1 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. And for Buck Showalter, his team trying to grind out another one. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, chased one away and got him.
Well, Stamen's made some mistakes with his sliders here. J.J. Hardy, the home run on the hanging slider of the middle of the plate. Hundley picked up his base hit on a slider, but that was a good one there, buried down and away to Jonathan Schoop.
That is the first out recorded in the inning. McFarland is going to stay in the game. He will hit for himself, looking to bunt. So McFarland's got a chance to be the winning pitcher in this ball game. He's trying to help the offense out here if he can pick up a sacrifice to move Hundley down to second base. Zimmerman coming in at third. LaRoche from first. Good bunt. Zimmerman's got to go to the second baseman covering. That will be a sacrifice for him. Hundley goes down to second with 2 down.
Great job by T.J. McFarland right there.
So 2 away and another potential run.
Take a look. Now he's in a good position. Gets that bad head out in front. Little chopper forcing the third baseman to make the play. Zimmerman right on top, but he doesn't want to take a chance to throw out to the middle of the infield. Hundley in the second. TJ getting the big sacrifice.
First at bat that he has had on the season. And now a conference here with the Orioles trying to add another run to it, and Nick Markakis coming up. Nick has had a couple of singles, and they've come in his last 2 at bats.
You get around to the top of this order, and there's trouble all over the place. I mean, Markakis been swinging the bat so well. Manny Machado, 4 hits in the ball game. You do not want to get to the heart. Jones, Cruz, and Davis.
And the pitch will be taken, and a strike. By the way, for McFarland, that is his first plate appearance ever.
All right. Very successful plate appearance.
It's not an at-bat because you get the sacrifice. Even better.
All right.
There he is. Hoping now Markakis can get that run in. 0-1 delivery on the way, and Nick will take the pitch down low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Runner at second, 3 runs in here in the 11th inning, as the Orioles have taken a 5-2 lead in game 1. Looking for their 49th win of the year. 2-game lead over Toronto coming in. Tommy Hunter waiting in the bullpen. He's been up a couple of times throwing, so he's already heated up, just staying loose out there. It is a safe situation. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. It's not a safe situation anymore. Ball in the gap will go all the way to the wall. Going to second base, Nick Markakis, a double and an RBI. Hundley will score. McFarland's sacrifice mattered, and the Orioles have a 6-2 lead.
That'll certainly make TJ feel good. Helping his team win with the sacrifice bunt. Here another slider hanging up. A curveball there, actually. And Markakis gets on it, hammers it to right center. See Jason Worth's number. Hundley able to score easily from second. Markakis picking up another double.
So what an inning for the Orioles here in the 11th. Markakis now with a 3-hit ball game and a pitching change for the Nationals. Descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles, Chris Davis, needing that home run, and got one here in the 11th inning, his 14th of the year. Hardy right after him, getting his 3rd home run. Cruz had the other earlier in the ball game. The Orioles have a 6-2 lead in the 11th inning, and But Showalter, who's talked about the ability of this club to grind it out, and they're doing it again.
Boy, they sure have a very tough bullpen. Here's another power arm, Aaron Barrett, 257 earned run average. He's a rookie with some really impressive numbers. Opponent's hitting just 230. Lefty's up to 314, but the righty's held to a 185 batting average. Good fastball, 92 to 96 miles an hour.
Runner on at second base. Marquez picking up the RBI in his third hit. He's out there at second with 2 down. And Manny Machado has already had a 4-hit day, first one this year. 3 singles, a double, a run scored. He was on base when Cruz got his home run in the 4th inning. 0-1 delivery on the way to him, and a swing and a miss on a breaking ball away. 0-2.
Aaron Barrett's got some great stuff. Actually, he was a long shot in spring training making this club, but really forced his way onto the opening day roster. And a strong performance, and he's been pretty good, but his command can get a little shaky at times.
Into many empty seats now as a lot of the Nationals fans are headed out. With the Orioles on top by a score of 6-2. Oh-2. Marquez will get a big lead at second. They're not trying to hold him out there. The 0-2 delivery is going to miss, maybe a little low and inside. A 1-ball 2-strike count.
It's a hard slider right there, 87 miles an hour.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to him. That one lifted in the air to left field. That's going to go back. That's deep. And goodbye. Home run. Unbelievable. Manny Machado delivers another Orioles homer. Another 2 RBIs. That'll be his 8th of the year. RBIs 18 and 19. The Orioles here in the 11th inning have hit 3 home runs. Ulka Patel, our Maryland Lottery contestant winner, go on vacation. 500 more.
They can have some big innings. And this 11th is one of them. The 3 home runs. Of course, Manny Machado, a huge night. 5 hits on the night.
Wow. And an 8-2 lead for the Orioles. His first 5-hit ball game. And the pitch will be taken for a strike.
Breaking ball here, and Manny Machado goes out and gets it, catches it out front, backspins that one out over Bryce Harper's head in left field. Oof.
And the pitch, a swing and a miss by Adam Jones. Right T-shirt.
There you go. Cruz and Machado, they've been doing a lot of that this year.
2-run homer by Davis, followed by a solo shot by Hardy, a 2-run homer by Manny Machado, an RBI double by Nick Markakis, and a 6-run 11th inning. Ground ball will go to short. Desmond is up with that one, makes the play. Jones hustling down is retired, but the Orioles batted around here in the 11th inning for one of their best extra innings in a long time. Davis, the 2-run homer. Cruz, who had one earlier. Hardy followed up back-to-back home runs. Then with 2 down and Markakis on, Manny Machado would deliver one as well. Orioles need 3 outs to put away a W. Well, obviously for Chris Davis, the ball club, and for Oriole fans, the hope is that that home run picked up by Davis here in the 11th inning is the beginning of a new spurt. And Buck Showalter believes in putting players in situations where they have produced before. So he didn't play yesterday. He plays here in a ballpark where he came in with a .375 batting average and one previous home run. And he delivers his second here at Nationals Park.
Yeah, Buck Showalter magical at that, putting players in positions where he feels like they're going to succeed.
Markakis, an RBI double. Hardy had the home run, the back-to-back situation. Of course, Manny with a homer. What an inning. Lowe's going to play left field for Cruz, defensive replacement, and with a non-save situation, McFarland will stay in the ball game. Great effort that the management of the bullpen again tonight, and for Tillman, the starter. Remember, he went 7. He gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, but he went 7 innings on the night when the Orioles needed a deep start. As a result, they've only had to use O'Day, who was outstanding, 2 innings, 1 hit, and now McFarland trying to put the game away. Hardy on the shift. LaRoche's retired.
Yeah, you can't say enough about Chris Tillman's start. The need for a starter to get deep into a ball game, and he and Strasburg, great duel. Both of them getting deep into the ball game. Oh, he's sitting back enjoying this one.
One away as the Orioles look to put away their 8th extra inning win. They will be 8-3 in extra inning games. Extra inning games have not been rewarding for the Nationals. They're going to be 2-8 in extra inning ball games, barring a major comeback. 8 runs, 15 hits for the Orioles, 2 runs, 7 hits for the Nationals. Ground ball to short. Hardy again. Over to Davis, and there are 2 down.
TJ McFarland could do that. He's got a good 2-seam fastball. If he keeps it down, he can roll those ground balls.
McFarland with a victory is going to go 2-2. Stamen will take the loss and be 0-4. He was charged with 5 runs on 5 hits in 2/3 of an inning. Barrett charged with that final run, giving up the homer to Manny Machado. 2 down. And the pitch in there for a strike. Bryce Harper. Harper's had an 0 for 4 in the ball game.
This Orioles offense has just been pounding out the base hits, and granted a couple extra inning games, but the night game in Boston, the day before that extra inning game, they had 16 hits. In that extra inning game yesterday, 16 hits. Tonight, 15 hits. So a lot of, that's a lot of base hits in 3 ball games.
And the home runs just keep on coming. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that pitch will be taken down low. Orioles came into the game 2nd in home runs. Started the ball game with 107. They've added 4 to that. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that will come inside. McFarland right now just trying to get through and get that one more out. And a tired arm out there on the mound.
He lost that one up and in. That stay aggressive in the zone now. Big lead, 6-run lead.
Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way, and he'll walk him. McFarland surrendering his first walk. He has given up 1 hit, a single. Recorded a strikeout. Ian Desmond up. Desmond 2 ground balls to third and 2 strikeouts. And the pitch taken down low for a ball.
You see him taking some deep breaths out there on the mound, just trying to regroup himself, get himself back in the zone, keep it down there, and get another ground ball and end this game.
Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. That'll be taken. It's a strike. Toronto leading the American League in home runs starting the day with 100. Let me see here. Hold it. I'll find it. 114. So the Orioles now have 111. And the pitch will be taken. Desmond. 2-ball, 1-strike count. McFarland going, come on, arm. Give me one more out. 2-1 the count.
See, Conley just say, come to me.
2-1 delivery on the way. He does. Second base, Scope. This ball game is over. And what a win for the Orioles. Yet another great team effort here in the 11th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on base. 8-15-0 for the Orioles, 2-7-0 for the Nationals. Each team left 7 on base in the ball game. And again, the Orioles bats in the 11th inning. There'll be a lot of record looking for extra inning ball games for the Orioles to come away with 3 home runs in that 11th, 6 runs on 6 hits for the extra inning win, and the Orioles have the victory. And here those 5